hold on. You can't have. You cannot. No. Nope. See, they're trying to be slick now. They're trying to be slick. Trying to be slick. The Fed says weaker demand, lower oil prices, holding down inflation. I thought you didn't use energy and food when you're factoring in inflation and stuff like that. Huh? Now you want to use that to say that that's going to hold down inflation? Man, get out of here. Get get this Fed dude out of here. What are you talking about? For years, y'all been touting, "Oh, we don't factor in, food and energy. We just don't do that here." Man, stop. Cut it out. Cut it out. We already know that for decades we've been dealing with inflation when it comes to energy costs and food. Have you went to the grocery store recently? Good grief. Anyway, so there it is, folks. The Fed is doing nothing. The market already factored in that we weren't going to do jack today in the market. But just in case, hey, I'm good. I went ahead and took profit in the long Russell futures position. And I went ahead and booked profit in the long swan. And I booked profit in the X to the L to the E. So we are flat now in all three. All right. So I am done. Why don't we do this? Why don't we have a big hand clap for the PulseWave price trigger reports today? Yes. Go PulseWaves. Multiple markets, man. I don't even have time to get into every market that the PulseWave price triggers just showed off today.
Yes,
price
they did.
Triggers, man, just showed their behinds today in this market. Did whatever they wanted to do. Are you kidding? Bitcoin, NASDAQ, Russell, Dow. Pick a market. It don't even matter. Pick a forex. It don't even matter. The system was just popping today. Just popping. It's just it's like what we do every day, though. This ain't new to us. This is new to our listeners, but it's not new to us. This is how we roll. It don't matter if you went long soybeans, you made money today using the PulseWave price trigger reports. It was just showing off, man. It was just showing the heck off. And I love it. I like it when it's like this, when the markets are on and banging. You know what I'm saying? You like those banging markets. You want that pow, 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 pow. You want that movement in there like that. You want to see stuff like that. So this is dope. This is good news. But I'm pretty much done for the day as far as markets. I'm done. I took profit. Markets start pulling back a little bit, acting a little wishy-washy. All right, I'm caught the daily bar. So what am I messed up about? I'm getting out at the high of the session, around the highs of the session. So I'm good to go. I'm good to go. I'm not crying over nothing. Remember, whenever you do trade, folks, you're always going to leave some manner of money on the table. Don't try to get the very last crumb. All right, just take what you can and give nothing back. That's what it's called. Take what you can. It's not called be greedy and go for every crumb. Okay. Now Frank, this is real, right? When Jen, the super executive cat lady, made money in the market today. Let's give a big hand for Jen. Come on, way to go, Jen. Way to go.
Huge.
She pimped that market today, man. Yeah, way to go, Jen. Hats off to you, sis. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. This is what we do every day, folks. This is an everyday thing. When we take every average everyday people and turn them into market wizards. That's what we do. All right. We are only as successful as our pulse waivers. All right. That's it. If you made money in the market today using the PulseWave price trigger report, you need to give yourself a hand clap because that means you followed the system, you executed the trades correctly, you didn't overthink it or overguess it. Showing off. Now, as you guys know, I've been in the lab, I've been researching, I've been doing stuff, formulating, and I might have a treat for y'all coming out soon. We might have a little something for y'all. I don't know yet. I have to see.
It's too sick. We got to tease it longer. It's too sick for dropping it early.
Yeah, it's too sick. And if I did, you guys won't be able to take it. Trust me, you would not be able to.
No, and then they'll want it like tonight, because we always spoil people with stuff like that. We're like, oh, we have an idea, and then like the next day it's there.
Yeah, just a little something I was working on, you know, and really not necessarily working on, but it's just a tool that I had developed just for my own self that I've never shared with anybody. And it's from a set of algo codes from back in the day called Pandora. Pandora's little black box was something that I had developed to do certain things with, and I've really never disclosed it publicly. I think I did it once. I showed everybody a snapshot of it in my video, and I may have done a couple of like that, just little teasers, but that was it. I've never put it out there publicly like that before, because it's too dangerous. It's super dangerous, because you're basically like driving a Corvette at max speed, and then when that speed maxes out in your Corvette, you hurry up and jump out of the Corvette and get into a Lamborghini, and then you get out of the Lamborghini once you hit max speed in your Lamborghini, and then you get in a space shuttle. That's basically what it is. We're going from Mach 1 to Mach 5 in like a matter of minutes. It's a crazy thing, and it would probably hurt a lot of people. It's like giving a toddler the button to push to launch the nukes, and say, here, play with this for a minute. Maybe this will help you stop crying. Here, play with this. Play with these launch codes. That's basically what it would be like. So I don't know. I don't know if anybody can really handle it, because it's a super extreme version of our current loaded triggers. If you think the loaded triggers now are too much, you ain't seen these. With this bad boy, you get long and short every day. It's probably the greediest methodology that I've ever come up with, because you literally, whatever is on the table, on the down and upside in a market on a daily basis, you clean up, you get it both. It gives you both. You get long, stop out, take your money, then wait, get short, stop out, and you're just going back and forth like that. It's a little micro mini day trading type of a thing. It is mostly built for futures, forex, and crypto trading. It works the best though on futures, and I would say it works just as good on the forex and the crypto also. But because I'm a futures guy, I designed it with the futures in mind, and it's just a good way to just sit there and just pick people's pockets. And that's basically what I designed. I actually called it the pickpocket system, because that's what it is. I literally go in and pick people's pockets. It knows what the stops are going to be from an intraday shift. You've heard me talk about algo shifts a lot. Well, what this thing does is it looks for micro algo shifts throughout the day, and it does it in a predictive tool format. It knows where to go. And then there is a cousin to this one called the overnight pickpocket, where it uses the overnight data, and all it does is pick the pockets of the overnighters when the day session starts to trade. Yeah, it's crazy. It's mad crazy. I don't know if I will ever reveal that to the public or not. Maybe I'll use it one day. You can watch me. You can watch me trade with it. You could probably watch me trade with it, but I don't know if I ever.
You know, you're torturing them, right? Because you're like, this thing is crazy. You're like, nah.
Yeah. Hey, look. I've done enough. All right, I've done enough.
Christmas.
You got a loaded gun already. Take the rifle that Daddy bought you. Okay, just handle that.
playing with people because you made so many gains. You feel like messing with people today. That's where you're at.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm just giving it to you real. Like, you know what I do? Sometimes, there was days back in my development days where I would come in and I didn't have an idea. I didn't have an idea for anything. And I would just look at the overnight market and be like, let me go ahead and pimp these overnight markets as soon as the opening bell rings at 9:30. As soon as the bell rung at 9:30, I was in there and I was out. And about 80% of the time, I was finished trading by 9:45. I was done for the day by 9:45. Like click, 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 boom, out, done. So, but the only thing about it, I hated having to focus like that because you can't do anything. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't answer your phone. You can't talk to your wife. You can't talk to your kids.
Yeah,
You can't talk to nobody. For those first 15 minutes, you can't talk to nobody, and you can't leave your desk. If the fire alarm goes off in the house, you have to sit there for 15 minutes before you can get up and leave the house, or your trade's gonna blow up. So it's just how it is. Hey, you wanted to know the truth? There it is. It is that focused, but it's like a laser beam. You get in and you get out. You make your money in 15, 20 minutes. You're done. Day over. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Yeah. There was one dude who came up with a methodology. It's sort of like that, but it was for equities. You guys probably heard of him. He passed away now, not too long ago. His name was Don Bright. Don Bright, and he was the owner of Don Bright Trading. He had a what did he have? What do you call that? A prop firm. He ran a prop desk. Yeah, it's a prop firm. That's what you go in with 10. You bring 10,000 of your own money, and then you pay all this money for their courses and classes, and then they will backstop you, and you can trade up to $1 million. That's how that worked. So. Wow. Yeah, but Don was a wild dude, man. That was my boy. He him and his team created that methodology. But one thing he used to do, man, the reason why I bring him up because it just makes we're talking about this thing I'm telling you about. Because he was such a cool dude. He would give away to all his peoples. He would give away a 1-year subscription to the Futures magazine back in the day, and I remember I called them up a few times. I was like, "Yo, I'm trying to get that magazine, man. What's up with that?" All you had to do is send them your email address, and right after New Year's, boom, you'll be on the list, and you start receiving your mags in the mail, man. So he was a cool dude, man. He was actually a really good down to earth dude. A lot of people back then they swore by the methodology. It was a weird methodology where like you would go in, you would put in like a zillion orders and tickets. And then as soon as you made a penny or 3 pennies, you were out of the market and now you're done for the day trading. It was the weirdest little thing I ever seen in my life. Seriously.
That's crazy.
But you got to pay him a lot of money though to do it. But it was weird. It was a weird little thing he had. But like I said, it just makes me think about it when we talk about it. So he's missed. He is very, very well missed. He goes all the way back to the message boards, the trader message boards. It was some wild times back then, but yeah, it made me think about it when we start talking about this. This is I remember we were comparing methodologies and stuff like that. Him and I and a whole bunch of other people were just talking about different things. A lot of those guys went on to become hedge fund managers and stuff like that. And then unfortunately, a lot of them, they just left the business, man. Things changed a lot, man. Just in 20 years, things have changed a lot, dude. It's not the same world anymore, so it's not the same thing. Times change, and that leads me to the next thing I want to talk about. All right, so as you guys know, we are in the process. They're trying to decide how to reopen the economy and who should be allowed to reopen and who shouldn't, and stuff like that. And I don't know if people have really thought about this or not. But I'm gonna drop something on you, and then I want you to I just want you to think about it. Maybe we'll talk about it tonight. I don't know. But here it is. some people believe that this virus is not going to be stopped, and that the economic collapse that has now begun is not going to be stopped either. So let that sink in for a minute. We are facing unprecedented times. Even if the coronavirus was to disappear tomorrow from off the face of the earth, the devastation in its wake, the unintended consequences of shutting down the global economy is going to be staggering. We are already in a depression, whether you guys know it or not or feel it or not. This is a depression.
For sure.
And there's some things and some similarities that we have when you look at history, except for it makes you think. There's a big question mark. The only way we came out of the last depression was through war. War.
Oh,
If it wasn't for World War II, we wouldn't have came out the depression. We're looking at total destruction of employment, total destruction of the economy. And it's just looking really scary right now.
Dude, as soon as this all started, I was saying the only place a thing like this goes is war. They'll find somebody.
Well, right now it's Iran. It's looking like Iran right now. Yeah. I think that's what it is. I think that's what they want to happen. It's sad because you don't want to think about it. But a lot of our listeners are young people. That means they would have to go and fight war. They would be drafted to go and fight in this war. Now, unless they've changed some of the parameters, to my understanding, the draft age, what was it, cut off 30, 35? Something like that was the cutoff.
Yeah, I think it used to be something like that, yeah.
You know? And if you decide you don't want to go to the draft, well, they call you a draft dodger and they throw you in prison. So it forced a lot of people to leave the country. So these are things that no one's really talking about. Every news channel you turn to, they're talking about the virus. No one's talking about the economic impact of the virus. No one's talking about war and the possibility of reopening the draft. No one's talking about that. And yes, because of feminism, because of the Me Too movement, and because of all these other things, yes, you finally got your wish, females. You will be drafted too. You will see females and males both being drafted equally. Now, you want to know what the world is going to look like when that happens? Oh no, I'm a woman. I am so feminine. I shouldn't be fighting wars. You know, women, there's a big difference between women and men. We don't have the muscular, build as men. We don't have the upper body physical strength like a man. We're just dainty little princesses. And then the government's going to say, oh, but no, wait a minute. Wasn't it you who wrote all these books saying that there is no difference between males and females, and technically speaking, everyone is the same? Didn't you say there's like 1 billion genders? Well, because you said that, and we have no way of knowing who's who, away you go. Please grab an M16 on your way out the door. This is where we're going.
Yeah.
There's no more, and this is what they pushed for.
Chivalry and its embrace is going to come back fast.
Oh, of course.
Because reality hits you like a bullet in the forehead. That's why. It's
going to be a lot. See, when an economy is strong, when people are experiencing wealth, they get really comfortable and they have all this free time on their hands to philosophize and come up with these weird theories and philosophies. And then they start pushing them as though they are real. So I'm going to tell you what you're going to start seeing, because, see, people don't like to talk about this, but these are things that's already happening right now. See, there was a thing, called the personal ads, the personals. You had places like Backpage.com and Craigslist. And even in certain newspapers and other publications, and I know that there was a little mini documentary done talking about what happened in California, where females were running ads saying, if you're a man, if you're looking for a wife, I'll be your wife for $100,000 a year. And these ads started coming during the 2008 financial crisis. So a lot of women who identified as lesbian started saying, hey, I'm gonna pretend like I'm not, so I can get with this rich dude so he can take care of me. And when he
this is to do it for us.
Hey, this is gonna come back, because when people are desperate and their ribs are touching, the scams are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm telling you what's about to happen. People are gonna do what they gotta do. Oh, by the way, those ads are still running. All right. You can pretty much rent a wife, rent a husband. Men are doing it too. All right. Young guys are trying to find themselves an old rich cougar. So they're putting themselves out there too. I'm telling you.
For real.
Yeah, this is not funny. It's not a game. I have known people who married for money, and both spouses know it. And whenever they have an argument, it always comes up. Well, Richard, I only married you for your money. Who cares, Pamela? The only reason why I married you is because you got that fat butt and those big tits. So yourself. And these are facts. These are facts. All right. Why do you think you're right, Sling? The male or the bride thing. Yeah, see, that's still going on too, folks. Why do you think that the human trafficking thing is so out of control too? See, the media, when they put it in movies and stuff, they try to make it seem like, okay, here's a whole bunch of girls, they've been captured and held against their will, and they've been forced into prostitution. No, that's something totally different. What they're trying to take your eyes away from is the ones that say, okay, here's what we want to do. We're in this third world country, or we're in this country where everything is messed up. The only way that we can get out of here is to go to America. We need to find somebody to marry us. I watched a documentary also not long ago where wealthy black men were flying down to South America and coming back home with a chick. All right. That was the thing to do.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Straight up. You think I'm playing? No, I'm not. The world's oldest profession will see a rise, but also there will be women who will be like, look, if I marry this dude, then he can take care of me. And there'll be dudes doing the same thing. If I get with this old rich woman, she'll take care of me. All right. That's going to be happening because people are not going to be able to eat. See, you think that, oh, well, basic universal income, everybody will have money, so everybody will be able to eat. No bread lines, poverty solved. No, you don't understand. You weren't listening to the live streams. I told you we're going to have a deflationary depression, and you will see only hyperinflation when it comes to feeding yourself and energy. That's what's going to happen. You think crude oil is going to stay negative or stay $5 a barrel? Not on your life. You better not get used to it, because you will never see these prices again.
Wow. Think about all those conversations you've had with people over the years, Dex. You were looking at bubbles this morning on your broadcast. You brought up that chart. Think about how many conversations you had with people who said, "Man, if I only bought that blah 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 when it was in chapter 11."
Right? Exactly. Yes.
That's today. Okay,
yeah.
that's
Straight up facts, man. I'm telling you.
I remember people saying, "Man, oh man, if I had only bought Bitcoin at $8,682, which is the current price." I've heard that because when it was $18,000.
Right.
So you got to take action. I'm not saying buy Bitcoin today. I'm saying you've got to get skin in the game, and you've got to get on top of these things.
Wow. Okay. See, someone said, look, in the chat, they said their friend did that. She was 56, Nigerian, married to his friend's daughter, who was 32. They're happy now. She was an educated nurse. See, I'm telling you, arranged marriages will be taking place, man. I'm telling you, they're going to be taking place.
I have friends, Indian friends, who were in arranged marriages for 50 years. Happy as can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Well, I mean, look, I remember there was another documentary they did, the sugar daddy thing, and how it was becoming a really big phenomenon, right? And so some of them agreed to be interviewed and do the documentary. And I tell you, man, each and every one of them was so happy because they had an agreement. They had it in writing. And it was like, okay, he agreed to pay for my schooling. So he's putting me through university, through medical school, law school, whatever. And, I'm meeting his needs. He's meeting mine. And he gives me an allowance, so I can go and do what I want to do and hang out at the club.
She takes care of me. She gives me a little allowance.
Yeah.
She lets me order a pizza once in a while.
Exactly.
That's
what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. And it's funny because we're not used to that here in this country. See, this country has been spoiled because it is a phenomenon. It's something that's never happened before in history, where you look at the poorest person in this country would be living like a king compared to the days of old. All right. Some kings don't have what poor people have today.
For real.
Some poor people have big flat screen TVs in their house. All right. That was unheard of for a king centuries ago. Some of them got more jewelry than some of the kings had a century ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is there's a situation right now that is going to be pressing people. All right. People are going to be getting pressed because what do you do? All right. Now, someone says, is international travel done for the next decade? No. No, it's not. Want to know why? Because you're used to vacations. But let me tell you what you're going to start seeing more of. You're going to start seeing staycations. People are going to vacate out of this country and never look back.
It's a good one, yeah.
I'm dead serious. There are people who have already left because they knew it was coming, got tipped off, and they bounced.
Half the guys we watch on YouTube who make documentaries and stuff, they're like coming to you from Japan or whatever.
Yeah.
They're in Singapore, they're in the Netherlands, they're all over the place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they knew what we know now, they knew it 20, 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So look at it this way too. Like I said, just connect the dots, people. Just connect the dots.
Yeah.
A lot of things have been going on for a while now, and no one has said anything. They've been just ignoring what they've been seeing.
Yeah.
But now it's getting to a point where you can't deny it no more. You can't ignore it.
I was just thinking that this morning. In fact, I was just saying to the executive cat lady, I was saying, I'm chatting with some of my friends, and I'm seeing people who are definitely not political. If anything, they're kind of centrists. They really don't like to get into a lot of stuff. And I'm seeing they're coming out of their shells saying, "Hey, this is really crazy." and they're watching things like that video out of California with those doctors and stuff like that. And I mean, they're not even watching stuff like we watch. They're just watching like Tucker Carlson, and they're going, what is going on? You know, like it's starting to click for people that that everything is not as it seems.
No, it's not. And well, like I said, I've been compiling some stuff, and maybe one of these days I'll put it all together, and then I'll upload it or something. But I don't know. There's so much going on right now. Like I said, I don't have time to even go into all of the stuff that's going on. I forgot to tell you guys, and I told my wife during lunchtime today because I forgot to tell them too. When I went to the Whole Food store, did I tell you guys this about the Whole Food store?
I didn't. You didn't tell me. I don't know. I'm interested.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes I don't remember what I say. Okay, everybody. I hope you're sitting down. I hope you're sitting down. I hope you're sitting down.
Dex,
okay.
For a living.
I know, right? Folks, I told you in 2016 with my documentary, There Is No Collapse. What did I tell you was coming with it? There Is No Collapse. I told you that you've been hearing people for a long time talk about a cashless society. And I was explaining to you what it really was, and then how we were already in a cashless society. And that we're just experiencing the incrementalization to where it gets to the point where there is no more cash. And I also explained to you that they've been sucking physical dollars out of the system more and more. That's why your average bank, if it's lucky, may have 12,000 in cash at any given time. Some have even less than that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, here we go. Whole Foods, just the other day, went to the store to get some stuff, and I noticed, I miss nothing. I noticed that for the most part, things look a little bit different. So I'm seeing some new faces in here I haven't seen, and I don't know. But the thing that got me, I didn't really notice it until I got to the checkout. There were signs everywhere. One thing I noticed was like a billboard type sign, that has their logo on it and everything, talking about because of COVID, whatever. All right, now I don't know off the top of my head how many stores would you say a Whole Food has in the United States?
A bunch.
We can safely say they have more than 10, right?
Yeah,
there's more than 10.
More than 10 in driving distance for me.
Okay, so in that case, how about this one? I get to the checkout, and each register has something different posted on it for the customers.
What? I can't even.
The first one says, "No cash.
Ooh.
No cash accepted. No cash. Cash no longer accepted.
Wow.
We only accept digital."
This is the whole store?
Yes.
Shush.
Then the other register had a sign that said, "You cannot pay in cash. If you try to pay with a card and ask for cash, they will not be giving you any change. No cash.
Ooh.
We do not give change. No cash. No cash."
Wow.
Cash no longer accepted.
Well, very least, Dex, at the very least, that means that they weren't able to get cash.
Exactly.
But it probably means something even more.
Oh, it's worse than that.
Yeah.
They're saying they're not doing it anymore. No more cash. Period. They're not accepting cash. We no longer accept cash.
Look at what Sling Salsa is saying. My bank says the same thing, but they will give you cash yet not allowed a deposit. Is that a typo? Tell me if that's a typo, Sling Salsa, because that's bizarre. That is some weird. Is that because of the virus? Is that to protect you from your bank account now because of the virus?
No, they want to protect themselves. Remember, money has
the excuse.
No, cash is bad. Cash has coronavirus on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go further. Okay, so
Wow. Sling
They're
Celsius.
telling you no more cash. All right. And all right, someone just said ATMs will slowly start disappearing like phone booths. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Let me tell you something else. Are you ready for this? It got worse. I looked and I noticed something. I was like, hold on. How did they get this up so fast?
Why? They weren't like handwritten signs?
No. I said it had the logo on it, a big like poster billboard thing.
Oh, crap. I missed that part. Wow.
Do you know how long it takes to design something like that and
Yep.
get it out? All right, if you and I wanted to do it, we could probably do it in a day or two.
Day or two, yeah.
But for a corporation that has hundreds, if not thousands of locations, it's a corporation. Nothing gets done overnight.
Yeah.
You got to have a board meeting. You have to get legal involved because you got to make sure that the words that you're using is not going to come back and bite you in the behind. Then you have to vote on things, get approval for things. Then you got to decide, okay, who is going to produce the signage for us? How much is that going to cost? Let's set aside funds for that. It's a process.
Yeah, it wasn't that day. Yeah.
So that makes me think, were they told what was up before it hit the mainstream public? Was this already designed and ready to go beforehand? Now, keep in mind, you guys, Whole Foods is no longer the Whole Foods that we remember. Remember, they were bought out by a major conglomerate. Look, you see a student in history say, he said, yep, all the social distancing signs suddenly everywhere in the UK.
Yep.
His exact thoughts. How is that? How do you do that? That goes back to what I said this morning with the Elon Musk. How? He don't, that's not his stilo. That's not his stilo. He do cars, man.
Hey, and who was it? Dino in the room? Someone in the room was saying they're in manufacturing or whatever, an engineer or something like that. And they were saying like there's problems beyond what you and I even conceived of in terms of supplying parts, inspection, making sure they all work. Like there's things that are just so beyond what we would even think of.
Correct. And the only reason why I was speaking and saying what I was saying, because I was telling you based on my experience, because I actually did a commercial loan, because remember I had my own mortgage company and I dealt with commercial paper, and I did a bailout loan for a manufacturing company.
Wow. Okay.
And it was a beast to get done. It was a beast to get done. All right. So again, how in the world are you able to get all of that stuff like boom overnight? Where did you get all the parts and pieces from that assemble the thing?
That alone. You're talking prefab precision parts.
Yes. And even if it's too many moving parts, dude. You can't even close a mortgage loan application that fast.
Yeah, and
I can't close on a house that fast.
I'm just thinking of I mean, I don't know anything about ventilators. I don't know, but maybe they're way simpler than I think. But I'm just thinking of little things like, I used to do handmade steel work with knives and stuff like that, and it's like just heat treating the little widgets and gadgets and all the little things that go. It's such a nightmare of how you're going to source this many things that you didn't think you were going to need. Yeah, I just can't imagine.
Wait. All right. Wait, hold on. We got to roll through this. Wait. You're right. I forgot about this one. We can't. We'd be remiss if we didn't go there. We got to go there. Okay, my man right here says arrows on the floor in Walmart in the UK, plus banners everywhere.
Yeah, this is the new thing. One-way aisles, man.
Okay, well, but hold on now. Wait now. He said Walmart in the UK. Well, I can testify that Walmart in the USA also has banners on the floor and the whole nine. Doesn't Walmart have like 300 trillion stores across the country, across the world, or the globe? Like 3 trillion stores? How in the world were they able to get all that done overnight?
It's insane.
Unless you already had it waiting and you were waiting for the government to say go. I'm sorry, they are all complicit in this. It is obvious.
To your point, bro, look at Brandon's comment I just put on the screen. This is a great point. I mean, just think of something as simple as this. He says, I'm IT manager, Los Angeles PD. We suspended training since March because no ammo. It also takes 2 weeks to get a gun for cops. Now, I mean, that's just simple stuff that you should expect to have available at all times. Just not that there's not a lot of moving parts there.
Wait. No, we can't let that go. We can't let that go. Wait. Time out. No ammo?
Yeah, man.
What do you mean no ammo?
Oh, I can tell you what happened there.
You're a police department. How do you not have? If you're not essential personnel to have ammo, then my goodness, we're in trouble. Have the floor. The floor is yours. Explain this one. I don't understand that. Well, you don't have ammo for the police department. Come on, man.
Whenever there's anything serious, you know, that has to be, at least, and you tell us, Brandon, that has to be in part because of the rush on ammo because of the crisis. So, but you don't even have any to train. Like, I know cops, they have ammo coming out of, I'm a gun guy. So the cops that I know, they always have ammo coming out of their ears because they get it for training for free and they don't use it all. And at least that's the couple cops I know that like so much so that they'll say things to you like, oh, you're buying a gun? Make sure you buy a whatever caliber because I've got a closet full from training. That's at least what it's like around here in the states. I live on a border of 2 states. So that's very interesting that they don't have ammo to trade with. Very strange.
No, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy that. No, I don't. That's been done on purpose. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember me telling you this.
You muted yourself, bro. Hey, Dex, you're muted, man. I don't know if you meant to. I don't know if you just had a massive coughing fit.
I hit the wrong button. Okay. All right. So, okay. The cop thing, I don't buy. There's multiple reasons why I don't buy it. All right. So a few years ago, I think I did a video here on YouTube about it. Okay. Law enforcement in the United States went through some changes a few years ago. FEMA came up with some study material, some course material, and it was mandatory for law enforcement. Mandatory, meaning that, oh, you were going to take these modules and you had to pass these modules whether you liked it or not. If you worked in any area capacity of law enforcement, meaning you were given permission to use a handgun, a firearm, you was taking this training. See, they have now coordinated first responder situations through FEMA. That's right. They have established chains of command. They talked about how law enforcement is, part of the first responders, and they let you know who you be working with based on if this scenario happens, that scenario happens. And just so in case you guys didn't know, let me help you out a little bit. As you know, your police officers, your street cops, or your front lines, right? But then behind them, did you know your officers at the penitentiary and the jails is right behind the street cops? All right. A lot of people don't know that. And did you know that your jail officers also have arresting authority within a mile radius of the jail? Most people don't know that either. Okay. So they have.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's weird.
Yeah. They have juice that you can't even begin to think of. There's situations where, let's say there was a big situation going on in your town, or whatever, like when we had the Boston bombing thing. Let's say something like that happened in your town and you are a corrections officer and you're off today. Oh, your phone is going to ring and you're going to be asked to come in immediately. And if it's one of those like national emergency type of things where no one's allowed on the street, best believe you will have law enforcement to help usher you to your assigned location, which means you'll be able to drive at 120 miles an hour from your house to wherever you're going to report. Abso-freaking-lutely. With escort if necessary. And I'm not kidding. Yes, it's on that kind of time. So to say that they don't have no ammo, man, let me tell you something. Do you know how much ammo they set aside for law enforcement? Even if law enforcement, if their warehouse became empty tomorrow over ammo, do you know they could get it from the local National Guard? Do you not? You guys don't know how this thing works?
They're the ones who cause ammo shortages. They're not subject to them.
Exactly, dude. Saying that law enforcement don't have no bullets, it's like saying McDonald's ran out of hamburgers. Never gonna happen.
That's the next thing you're gonna hear.
Never gonna happen.
God forbid.
All right, so that's been done by design, folks. That's been done by design. I'm so sorry. It's been done by design. Design. As a matter of fact, they are so supplied with ammunition that on a regular basis, you get to go to the shooting range. As a matter of fact, I was told I could go to the range whenever I darn near felt like it. I could go before I started my shift, or I could go after I finished. I could do whatever I wanted to do. That's right. You have access to that range whenever you want to go. Just go. Straight up. Now, I will say this though. They did ask you to bring your own ammunition though, if you had it. But depending on who you were and all of that, you ain't got to worry about it. Go down to the range, do what you got to do. So saying they ran out of ammunition, I don't believe it. Remember, this is the same system that during Obama's presidency militarized the local police departments across the country. Start giving them tanks and MRAPs and bulletproof vests and assault rifles. Yeah, exactly. As a matter of fact, it was so much military hardware to go around, the FDA put in an order and got it filled for tens of millions of rounds of hollow point bullets. The FDA. They deal in food safety and medical. What they got to do with an assault rifle?
Arming people. It's so weird.
I'm telling you guys, see, people you gotta ask some questions. And how did Walmart, that has 3 trillion stores worldwide, have all of these signs and banners and things on the floor overnight? How? And why would they? Do you know how much money that costs to print up that much signage? I knew someone that owned a printing company. Do you know how expensive that's going to be? For thousands and thousands and thousands of stores? Are you kidding? Man, sorry. You're seeing it in the Whole Foods. You're seeing it in pretty much every store, Walmart. And it's not just here. It's overseas in Europe too. What? So anyway, I don't buy it. I don't believe the hype. But I'm going to tell you why they're doing it. And I'm going to tell you how I know they got briefed long before this even became an issue. Are y'all ready? Hope you're sitting down. We got about to go in.
Right.
All right. They're preparing everybody. That's why you've been doing what you've been doing. Like good little sheeple. They're preparing everybody for their manufactured collapse. And they're going to make sure that you are going to toe the line when the time comes, because they will not have dissent. They will have order. All right. That's where we are right now. They know that it's a depression. They know it's a Great Depression, greater than the first depression that we had. This is going to make that one look pitiful. This is a bad one, folks. It's not good. That's why I've been out here every day, every single day, trying to get people to at least Listen, I mean, I feel like EPMD. Please listen to my demo. That's all I've been asking people to do. Please listen to my demo. And nobody wants to listen to my demo.
Please listen to my demo.
All right. So look, here we go. I want you to think about this just for a minute, okay? The question is not whether we're in a depression or a recession. All right? That is not the academic question. The most important question that we are facing is, will we recover regardless of what you say we're in? Now, of course, the classroom theory is that depressions are economic events not created by economic forces. Therefore, measuring the depth of a depression by economic measures alone is insufficient. The measure of a depression is the extent to which it will destroy the hopes and dreams of a generation, making what had been an easy reach inconceivably far away, and taking successful people and reducing them to penury. Like many things, the face of depression is readily recognizing, even if it is difficult to quantify. Among other things, if, for example, an economy were to contract by 30%, recovering from that by, say, a 4% growth rate would not be a triumph, but a confirmation that we would be beginning to climb out of a depression. The United States emerged from its last depression in World War II. So it has been almost a century since we've experienced one. And the one that we experienced arose from war and was solved by war. World War I created a massive depression in most of Europe. Germany was particularly savaged by the Treaty of Versailles, but Britain, Russia, and Poland were also wrecked in different ways. The cause of the depression was the over 4 years of at least 20 million Europeans. For the most part, the next generation had died. For 4 years, the economy was focused on building weapons and ammunition. There's that word again, ammunition. Shell-shocked soldiers came home to a shell-shocked nation, an industrial plan irrelevant to anything but war, and the thanks of their fellow citizens. They did not come back to the futures they had imagined, but then those who did not go to war had their futures shattered as well. So it didn't make a difference. Economists like to point to periods during the 1920s when the economy grew, but sporadic growth does nothing to affect the definition of depression. The term lost generation came about to refer to the cyclical intellectuals who arose in the 1920s, but it more accurately describes, for example, the soldier who had hoped to own a shoe store, but now found himself in a country where shoes were no longer bought, but only mended. Now that's huge.
Wow.
Let that sink in for a minute. Think about that just for a second, right? Now, this was not unique to any one country, all right, except for the United States, which fought for only a year and came home to a country able to produce the engineers of war and the men who manned them and all the food that could be imagined. For the most part, their dreams were kept alive in America, for a while at least, but the persistence of the European depression meant that the U.S. could not resume its role as exporter. Instead, products in the U.S., excuse me, and U.S. Washington's response was a tariff on European goods that changed the structure of the global trade. Sound familiar? And added the United States to the list of casualties. All right. So one of the characteristics of the greatest generation was that Having gone through the Depression, they saw World War II as their great hope. Now, depressions become a political event. There are those who do well in such times and want to preserve the depression. There are others too rich or too poor to know that there is a depression underway. And there are those politicians who either invoke ancient ideology irrelevant to the moment, pretending to know what to do, and figuring that no one will notice that they don't know what to do. And a few who know that in a crisis, the people will rally to those who actually care and plan. All right. One of these latter politicians was Lenin. Russia was utterly shattered. The leaders didn't care. Lenin did and knew what to do. He famously said that you can't make a pie without breaking the crust. To speed things up, he ordered bakeries to bake only crust for breaking and for getting the pie. But there was little to be done with Russia. In Germany, a leader emerged who recognized that unemployment was the heart of the problem and presented fascism as the solution, along with something vital, someone to blame. Got to have somebody to blame. He nationalized the economy while leaving businesses in place and nominated the Jews as the villain to wild applause. Does that sound familiar? He nationalized the economy, but he left the businesses in place. What has the Fed been doing since this lockdown? They have been nationalizing all of the companies, throwing money at everybody.
Yeah.
What say you? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is what it is, folks. We can't pretend that this stuff is not going on. Okay? Now, these are the people who come out of depressions. The successful are monsters. The decent can't control the forces that depressions unleash. Now, Roosevelt's New Deal helped some, but didn't change the reality. World War II offered the greatest stimulus package of all time. Depressions create despair, people hungry for everything. Above all, some hope for a future. Hitler and Lenin were one kind of leader. Roosevelt and the other European leaders were another kind. In the end, the solution was not found by the Federal Reserve, but, drum roll please, the military. Dun, 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 dun. Hence, that last the last thing conference that the president did, and how he brought out the general from the U.S. Army to talk about crude oil. What does the Army have to do
What?
with
I
the
missed that.
production of crude oil?
Creepy, really. We're gonna bring out the thing you think of most when you think of crude oil.
That's like me. Look, that's like me advertising this brand new daycare center, and during the summer we are a summer camp, and I'm showing you Big Bird dancing in the grass and the students, skipping along with Big Bird and all of that. But then I end it with Jason Voorhees standing there with his white ski mask and his bloody machete, saying, "Bring your kids and bring them now." How many people do you think will sign up for that? None.
No, nobody you want to hang out at a summer camp with.
You would see Jason Voorhees with his all dressed in black, white ski mask and a bloody machete, talking about bring your kids to this happy camp. Right. Well, that's what we did. We said, let's talk about crude oil and the futures market, but we're going to let the Army general who is trained in killing to talk about it.
What did he have to say about crude oil? Was it just about ship security and stuff?
He was talking out of one side of his neck
That is symbolic. Man.
And that's all I heard was
symbolic. Talk about symbolic.
See what I'm saying? So
crude oil.
What does he have to do with that?
He should have been holding a machine gun while he was doing the discussion.
And then, the person's like, yeah, we're going to use the Army Corps of Engineers, and we're going to set aside some more oil, some emergency, and I'm going to go and authorize the Emergency Act, the Production Act. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm confused. Didn't you just say that there was so much oil on the market that there was nowhere to put it? So if there's nowhere to put it, how are you going to set aside tens of millions of barrels in oil? Where are you putting it? If everyone's saying there's nowhere to put it. Huh? Makes no sense. Again, that's like your wife saying, honey, I just came back from the doctor. I'm 2 months pregnant. And you're like, that's wonderful, babe. I'm so glad that you're pregnant and we're having a child. And she says, what are you talking about? No one said anything about having a child. But you just said you were pregnant. No, I'm not. But you just said you were. Well, the doctor said, maybe I'm pregnant. But you just said you were pregnant. No, I might be pregnant. Okay, he said I'm a little bit pregnant. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, but
either you are or you're not. You can't be a little bit pregnant. So either the oil wells are bursting with oil and we have nowhere to put it, or you're lying.
Fact.
Just saying.
This needs to be said. Every man in the audience has had a conversation at least that weird with his wife at one point.
Wow. All
right, I'll show myself to the door. It's been nice.
Look, now here's a funny thing though. World War II did not end the Depression, except for the United States. All right, Europe was once again in a depression. China and Japan were ruined, and there was a time where the made in Japan brought laughter and the expectation of cheap and trashy goods at one point in history. The solution came because the Americans feared the Soviets and created aid packages for allies and the right to sell cheap goods to the U.S. The skilled workers of Eurasia were either led into a generational depression by the Soviets or into recovery by the Americans. Again, depressions and the possibility of war went hand in hand. How long have I been saying this on this broadcast? Depressions lead to war.
Yep.
Because when you tell me, come into my office, and bring a box with you. I need to talk to you, okay? A box? Okay, well, I'll bring you a box. Oh, no, the box is not for me. It's for you. I need you to pack up your cubicle, and these fine gentlemen will escort you out of the building. Oh, and by the way, I have notified every employer in the United States, and no one is going to give you a job. Oh, and by the way, I need you to come back over here real quick. Here, let me put this tattoo on your forehead. It says that you've been branded. You cannot work. You're no longer allowed to work. Have a nice day. Okay, so now what you just told this man is you need to go home, get your black ski mask out of the drawer, get your gloves, and get your Glock, and go to work. Because that's what you're telling. You're saying that I am not allowed to work and you won't let me work and I want to work. So since you won't let me work, I have no choice but to go get my Glock and get it by any means necessary. Because at the end of the day, that man is still going to eat.
Yeah.
Even if it's your food, he's going to eat your food. All right. So
ammo shortage isn't going to stop it.
No, it's not. Even if you were to outlaw, even if you had a magic wand and you made all guns disappear and vanish overnight, then they would just say, you know what? Okay, fine. I don't have my Glock. But I have this sock, this long sock, this tube sock. And I do have this pool table downstairs. Let me go and get about 3 or 4 of these pool balls and just go ahead and put them in this sock. And I'm still going outside tonight. I'm going to eat. I'm gonna find something to eat. Cause I'm just gonna hit somebody over the head with this sock full of these this 8-ball inside pocket, and I'm gonna get me something to eat.
Yep.
Or if that don't work, well, you know what? I did make friends with my man Frank, and so since he is a knife maker, a blacksmith, he went ahead and blacksmithed me a machete, and so I'm gonna take that outside with me tonight, and I'm gonna come back home with some groceries. I don't need money because I'm gonna take your groceries.
That's why I don't sell all my knife making gear, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Someday, if this keeps up,
dude, I'm telling you, that's where we're going. That's where it's going. It's going to be warfare, because that's the only way to get the economy producing again. Get them producing arms. Everybody can have a job. Oh, where you work? Oh, I work at that ammunition factory over there. Jobs for everybody. Come work at the ammunition factory. That's how it's going to go. And at the end of all of that, you're still going to be wards of the state, because they're going to own you, because they're going to nationalize everything. The only food that will be entering into your mouth will be that given to you by the government. So I hope everyone under the sound of my voice likes the taste of government cheese. If you have never had the pleasure of enjoying a meal of government cheese, let me paint the picture for you of what you can anticipate.
Oh, dear.
You see, the thing about government cheese is that it is absolutely disgusting. The thing about government cheese is that it doesn't melt.
It's difficult to put into words.
Yes, it is. It doesn't melt. You think I'm playing? You think I'm laughing? Put it in the microwave for 10 minutes, it will not melt.
It shines, it doesn't melt.
10 minutes in the microwave, it won't melt. Try to make a grilled cheese sandwich with it. By the time you even think that you're getting it to melt or get soft, you would have burnt your bread up. All right? And sent your whole kitchen on fire. The government cheese does not melt. That is your future. No more Velveeta cheese.
I love how this is the example you come up with to describe a broken dystopia. The cheese won't melt. And it's really perfect, X. Like, what's a world you don't want to live in? A world where the cheese don't melt.
There you go. And you know, some people, they don't believe me. They think I'm playing. I'm not playing. I'm being dead serious. The government cheese does not work. It doesn't melt, man. And it doesn't even say cheese on the box. It says cheese food. Player, it's cheese food. That's what it says on the box that it comes in, the brown box that it come in. It say cheese food.
And it's fortified.
And it's nasty.
It's made out of leftover coronavirus.
Man, that cheese. Woo! That cheese. That stuff was nasty.
That's what they're gonna make. That's what they're gonna make at Tesla when they're done making the ventilators. They're gonna
pretty much. I put you like this: when your ribs touching, you'll eat it and be like, "Man, I know it's gonna make me sick, but I need something to eat." So you know what you'll do? You'll be like, "Man, darn that! Hand me my ninja sword over there. I'm gonna go get some real food. I'll be back in about an hour. I'm gonna get some real food."
Come on, let's get nuts.
There you go. Straight up. Like, I had a pig feet instead. I like that. We're gonna have a lot of people eating pork. They're talking about I don't eat no pork. You know, there's another thing that's gonna be funny. I can't wait to see this. What are the vegans gonna do? Where there is no vegetables and no fruit of any kind in the store. All you got is processed food and meat. Now, notice how I said meat. I didn't say poultry. I didn't say chicken. I didn't say fish. I said meat. Meat.
I think student of history is one step ahead of you.
Meat. Are you still going to eat insects? You know, all right, let's deal with that. Everybody's, I'm glad you feel that way. I'm so glad that somebody in the live stream said that. But I have a very depressing outlook for you. Oh, you think you're going to eat insects? Here's a question for you. Seen any honeybees lately? Have you seen any honeybees lately? I haven't. The edible insects that you're talking about, they've been on the decline, folks. They've been on the decline. Yeah. Yep.
You're even taking bugs away?
Yeah, man. Seriously. Bugs, insects are on the decline, especially the honeybees. Honeybees population has been scary for quite a few years now. Straight up.
No, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, now as far as eggs are concerned, oh, you think you can find some eggs? Oh, they got you covered? No. Because you forgot something. In order to get eggs, you gotta have a chicken. You can't have no eggs without a chicken. They're gonna eat them chickens. Whoever raises chickens, they're gonna eat them chickens. They're gonna be like, I don't need no eggs, I need that meat. Ain't no eggs. Ain't no eggs.
Talking about this. You and I were talking about how I was looking for a video game to play and everything. And then I was in the chat talking to people about it like 2 days ago. So I finally settled on this game. You know, I like Far Cry, right? It's not your favorite, but I like Far Cry, right? So I start playing, and it's the game that I got came out about a year ago, and I didn't know. I just went, oh yeah, I never played that sequel. I got to grab that, right? Well, the whole thing is set after the last game, which ended with a global nuclear catastrophe.
Whoa.
And so you're sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go chill. I'm going to get my mind off everything. And I'm sitting down and I'm like, this is where we're headed, man. This is what it's going to be like. I'm like, this is what I do. Dex tells me to relax and play a video game. And the first thing I download is like this portrait of the worst future imaginable. Walking around, all the deers have glowing antlers and stuff. And I'm like, this is not relaxing me. This is like,
no, it's not working, is it? Not what you had in mind.
I gotta go with Nintendo's and play Animal Crossing with the rest of you people.
Exactly, right. Some a little bit more tame.
It's chill.
It's funny because I didn't know your boy Powell was talking, saying no repeat of concern that financial system collapsing. Really? You got like 80 million people out of work, and he's not concerned that the financial system is collapsing.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. I can't breathe. No repeat of concern that financial system is collapsing, and you got like 15 million people a week out of work. I can't even find eggs in the food line.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness. I can't find eggs in food line. He talking about ain't no there's no.
Why are you concerned? About what? About what?
Oh my goodness. Really, man?
Wait,
and he got a straight face too. You should see him. He's live on Bloomberg.
Dex, there's only one. I got a sound clip on the soundboard. Perfect. Well, I've been saving it for such an occasion as this.
What kind of drugs do you take?
I see. I knew it.
Oh my goodness.
Handy at some point.
Dude, how can you say that with a straight face? I'd be laughing. I couldn't do it. I'd be cracking up live on TV. How can you say that? How can you say that? Oh, dude, my, please.
I'm convinced the ability to lie with a straight face is how these people get their jobs. It's the only requirement. Do you have
do it?
Can you lie with a straight face?
I bust out laughing. I can't do it. Seriously? I try. I can't do it. All right, so let me get this straight. We are in a lockdown society. No companies are being allowed to operate. People can't go to work. But he's not concerned about financial collapse. Wow. Wow.
So insane. Yeah, you don't have to be concerned about a house collapsing when it's sitting in a pile on the front lawn. That's what he means. This is some Clinton level semantics, bro. He's saying, no, I'm not concerned about a financial crash. And in his mind, he's saying, because I just came out of a meeting where we detailed how horrendous and horrific the financial collapse is. Why would I be worried about it? So it's in the books, bro. No, I'm not worried about it. That was last week.
oh boy. And then he said in areas where there's more risk, that's okay. That's what it says right now. Powell, Fed, in areas where there's more risk, oh, that's okay.
Yeah, that's
he said that's okay. In areas where there's more risk, oh, that's okay. That's okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, honey, there's a lion in the living room. He's roaring and he looks angry.
It's okay.
Woman, if you don't go down there and bring me up a beer right now, so help me.
Unbelievable.
I know there's a lion down there, fool. And it's okay. Go get my beer. This is crazy, dude. I cannot believe we're living in these times. I can't. It's making my stomach hurt. I can't breathe. This is absolute low rates, not good for all, but it's good for overall economy. Wow.
Wait, what did he say?
Low rates are not good for all people, but it's good for the overall economy.
Wow. That's
basically
government stuff right there.
No, here we go. You know what? I'll give you a good example. Frank, I'm inviting you and Jen over this weekend for a barbecue cookout. Okay? Now, I understand that my rack of ribs, I have to let you know, it's going to have a little bit of poop on it. I understand that a little bit of poop is not good for most people, but for the cookout, it's wonderful. Are you still coming?
Dex, let me get back to you on that.
That's what he just said on live TV. You know, a little bit of poop on a sandwich is not bad.
And then on Monday, I'll say, Dex, are you concerned about eating poop for dinner? And you'll say, no, I'm not, Frank, because you just ate poop for dinner.
And you know what? While
Jen doesn't even care. Jen is so sick of being home. Look, Jen doesn't care. She just wants to hang out.
She just wants to get out the house.
This poor lady is telling me today she's had it.
And you know what's really sad? And they said this with a straight face too. Do you know China was working on a food product made of human feces?
Oh, God help us. Not
long ago.
God help us.
So we are in perilous times.
Indeed.
All right. I have to say, well, I think, is it a Chinese proverb? I don't know if it's a Japanese proverb or a Chinese proverb, but it's a saying, and it's just like a curse actually, and it goes, "May you live in interesting times." And I have to say, right now, the world is living in very interesting times.
Absolutely bizarre.
And that's not in a good way. All right, look, since we've been talking, right? If I were most of you right now, you probably should have been out of the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
All right. I know you laughing with us, but you gotta do something with your stock, like right now. Not now, but right now. Right now.
Right now is in 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because we're pulling back pretty aggressively. We hit 9,065. We're at 8,765. No bueno. Get out of the market. Take your profit. I got out. Right when the announcement was about to come out. Yeah. And normally I wouldn't even have went long into today.
Yeah, I was surprised you even had anything. I know you don't like to eat those FOMC days. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me explain to you guys what that is for real quick. Okay. So during normal situations, I will not initiate new positions ahead of a weekend, a holiday, or some type of big announcement like a Fed announcement. All right, because it's not worth it. Okay. As far as what I said recently, I said I'm making amendments to that rule because we are living in interesting times, meaning that those rules don't necessarily apply because we are now in a news cycle driven market. where at any moment, somebody could drop the hammer and the markets could go berserk. So because of that, I've augmented my rule. So the rule now is if I'm headed into a holiday or a big news event and I'm already long the market, right? Meaning I'm long a inverse ETF, the market's been dropping, I've been making a killing, or I'm long, Amazon or something. Depending on how much equity I have built up in the trade, I may just let it ride, like I kind of did today. I let it ride a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Because I can afford the pullback because I'm playing with the house's money anyway.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? I've already moved my stop. I've locked in profit. Worst case that can happen to me, market pulls back. I get stopped out with my money. I'm good to go. So that's kind of my rationale behind it today. That's what I do. That's why I held coming into it, because I didn't have anything to lose. I'm using their money. Now, tonight is going to be very interesting because tomorrow is Thursday. And we got those those things, man, those initial jobless claims, man. If that number is sick, you know what's going to happen. You already know what it is. I think the market is probably going to just for the heck of it, factor in maybe 5 million.
Yeah.
But if it's more than that, then
yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of that. That's a potential shock that could really ruin somebody's day. So I'm going to look at what happens tonight. If I do put on a trade tonight, which I probably will, I will probably look to get out of the way before 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. So if you're going to trade futures tonight, you probably are going to want to be flat right when that report is going to be released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because if they say something whack and the market don't like it, this thing could fall with the precision of a missile strike, and you don't want to be on that side of that market. On the other hand, if it's as expected or even better than expected, we could have another rally tomorrow, and I would like to participate in that. So here's what I'm gonna do for you. If I can remember, you guys have to help me out. Have to say, hey, Dex, remember you said you were going to do something. I am prepared to do a little something for you. I will take a look at the pre-market and see where we are before the data comes out, and then I'll go ahead and I'll work it in. I'll work something out for you guys for the Bitcoin. All right. So that's what we got to do.
Cool.
Somebody said it's payday for a lot of people over the next 2 days. Yeah, I know, right? I know. Look, you guys, I'm trying to be as positive as I can, but they don't give me a lot to work with. When these news reports come out, they're not reassuring. They don't tell me that we got everything under control. That's not what it's saying at all. It's saying the opposite. It's like saying we got government officials who don't have a clue as to what they're doing. Seriously, like they are just clueless. They don't know what time it is. They don't know how to think clearly in this situation. And I think that there could be some really unintended consequences that come on the back of this. There's been a lot of people coming out with a lot of information, and every time they try to warn the public or blow the whistle on something, social media takes the videos down before anyone really has a chance to get a look at it. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. What you should do is when you see these informational videos pop up, you should go ahead and download them real quick. That way, if they take it down, at least you still have the information. Because one of these days, one of those vids they take down could be a matter of life and death for some people. So just want to say that. Do the knowledge to that. All right. That's all I got for now, man. I'll be seeing you guys for the end of day report a little bit later. But we done now. We done, man.
Fun.
I got nothing else to talk about.
Good discussion, man.
Yeah, it is always. You and I haven't done this in a while.
No, man. No, we've been doing all kinds of other stuff, but yeah, it's great.
Are you a racist?
Yeah, that's what
I'm saying. I'm beginning to feel some type of way because I'm a green alien.
That's what
and you're a human being. You feel that you're better than me or something?
You freak me out. No, it's because every time you invite me over, you cover the ribs with poop and anal probe me.
Look, just because I abducted you last night and took you aboard the mothership doesn't mean that I don't like you. Goodness.
Listen, first you say I'm going to have you over. There's going to be a little bit of poop. Then you abduct me. I mean, it's not good for our working relationship. It's not good for anybody.
Hey, I'm green. What do you expect from me?
I don't judge people based on their odd shade.
And my head is bigger than my body. Come on.
Yeah, well, that's where the algo came from. So we expected that. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. All right, tonight we're gonna touch on a few other things. I'm trying to line some of that up now, and then let me see here. I think we need to talk about the possibility of forced vaccinations and this digital certificate that they're preparing to roll out. Maybe we'll talk about that.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve here.
You know, you were saying how things are freaking you out. The one thought that encourages me is, you know, they're trying to pull this stuff, causing all of this mayhem. At the very, very least, they are certainly taking the opportunity to take away every freedom, right, privilege we have. They're taking it, just like Rahm Emanuel said. You want to know what's in their head. You never let a crisis go to waste. You always take that as an opportunity to take power. But the one thought that encourages me, and you know what I would love to see, and what I pray we see, is that this is so big, so massive, that they just can't. In the age of the internet, even with all of their censorship and surveillance, that they just can't hide the big cluster. You know what? That this entire thing is. That it was brought on by governments, that the death rate, and I don't know who said it. Somebody said something great. It was one of the, there was a few great interviews and pieces I saw yesterday, but one of them said there's one thing they're not going to be able to hide. Maybe it was even Senator Paul. I was listening to him yesterday. There's one thing they're not going to be able to hide. In fact, I think it was him. And that is the death toll. They're going to try to pad the death rates. They're going to do all these kinds of things, but they are simply not getting the numbers that the government projected even close. What they're trying to do in the mainstream media, I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm even seeing it on Fox News, where even some of their top analysts like Britt Hume are saying things like, imagine if we didn't social distance, how bad it would be. That is not what they said. What they said was, if you social distance, quarantine, trash your business, ruin your life, we'll only have 200,000 people die. That's projection. We did it, and now they're projecting a total death rate of 70,000. Which means they were wrong, and we didn't need to do this because it's slightly less lethal than type 2 diabetes. Last I checked, we didn't destroy every small business in America every time a fatty like me had a donut. That's just ridiculous.
Well, I have something better than that.
I've had death in my family. I'm not saying this thing isn't serious. Whatever it is going on, that it's not serious and there aren't people dying, but the numbers are not going to bear out the damage that they did. And so my one bit of hope, Dex, is that in the internet age, when they're trying to, it seems like almost like their end game of trying to take control, that it'll just be too obvious to too many good people, and they won't fall for it. So that's kind of my hope and prayer, that it becomes like an age of enlightenment where people say, wait a minute, we don't need you to always protect us to the point where you're smothering us, government. We can hear real information, we can make decisions, and we can govern ourselves again. So that's kind of if we could end on a hopeful note, that's my hope and prayer. But yeah, very scary time.
I'm gonna ask you this, dude. What has killed the most people? The AIDS virus or the flu?
Oh, the flu.
So you're saying over the last 20 years, the flu has killed more people than the AIDS virus?
I don't know. Now you got me all insecure.
Okay. Let's say for the sake of argument that the flu has killed more people than the AIDS virus worldwide since 1989. How about that?
Okay. I actually have no idea.
How come we didn't lock the world down and quarantine everybody?
Mm-hmm.
If the flu has killed more people than the AIDS virus, if the flu has killed more people than the coronavirus, why didn't we lock down the world for the flu?
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
I'm dead serious. Why didn't we do social distancing? And I have another question for you. I'm not a virologist. I'm not an epidemiologist. But correct me if I'm wrong. You don't quarantine healthy people. You quarantine sick people.
Never. Makes no sense.
Right?
Yeah.
But these are supposed to be smart doctors. So how come the doctor doesn't know this? You don't quarantine healthy people. You quarantine sick people.
Dude, that's what those two guys in California were saying. They were saying this doesn't even make any sense that you did this. You just made it worse.
That's not science and that's not medical. They are taking these weird philosophies and theories, not scientific facts, and saying we know best because we're smarter than you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, someone said ask Magic Johnson about AIDS. He's done fine. You know what? I recall hearing something about that. Someone had claimed once upon a time that he never had it.
Oh, interesting.
And that was just a humiliation ritual.
Wow.
So
that's weird, Dex.
I'm just saying.
That's weird. I
know.
Did you ever see that crazy movie with McConaughey where he plays the guy who gets AIDS and he's what is it, Dallas Sellers Buyers Club?
Never saw it.
Give it to me in comments. But it was all about early on in the AIDS crisis how the official FDA position was just killing people, and so they were coming up with these I don't know if they were illegal, but they were being treated as illegal, and they called them buyers clubs, where they were selling black market drugs to people who had AIDS because they had figured out how to treat it on their own. Meanwhile, the government was killing everybody with their recommendations, and it's all about how stubborn the doctors were and stuff. So it's funny you brought up AIDS because this whole thing has been reminding me of that movie where you're hearing all these reports where people are saying things like, you know, the treatment is what's getting some people for sure. You know, they're doing all these wacky things.
They say run from the cure, man. Run from the cure. You got to run from the cure.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Anyway.
But thinking out loud, man. Just thinking out loud. All I know is things don't add up, and we're going to talk about it. We'll discuss it, and we will continue to look at some of these markets that have been moving like something is not right. Yeah, someone mentioned Dr. Sebi. Yeah, too bad they took him out. They've been taking out a lot of the what we call them, the specialty doctors. They've been taking them out for years now.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word or the what you call
is
them.
That the guy, that book you're talking about there, Naveen, is that the guy who was just on London Real? Because I was watching him yesterday. He's a very interesting guy. Very interesting.
Oh, Dr. Sebi, he's dead. They murdered him. He's gone.
I'm talking about. I was talking to you about this guy, the one who has the "What Really Makes You Ill" book.
Yeah.
We were talking about London Real. I don't know if we were talking about the same interview because he's had a few killer interviews on lately.
Oh, you talking about the two guys? Yeah, that was on London Real.
No. That guy. No, those guys were great too. I'm talking about a guy that was on yesterday. I just can't remember his name. I think he's an Indian guy.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I downloaded that. I have that.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about.
I think I have like 10 minutes left of it, but very fascinating. That's the first time I've seen that guy. I want to check out his other stuff. So
yeah, I'm going to check it out. I haven't had time to. I was looking at little clippets. Yeah, homeopathic. There you go. Homeopathic doctors. Yes, they've been getting murked over the last couple of years. As a matter of fact, it's been war on anyone from a scientific medical background as of the last 10 years. They've been passing away with what they call weird circumstances, almost on the level of missing 411. Except for they're not missing, they're found, lying in a pool of their own blood or whatever.
Dude, we've never talked about missing 411. That stuff is crazy.
Yeah, we never talked about missing 411, but we can definitely go there. I have an idea why he never says who it is or what he thinks it is.
Yeah, that guy's always hinting, and I never know what is it.
For him, he has to, because like he said, if he didn't, then they wouldn't take him seriously at all. He wouldn't be able to have the access that he has to the families and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a big deal. He has to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But everyone else can.
You would know what he thinks it is because.
Yeah. Well, all you gotta do is look at what he's saying. Because he's telling you everything.
You think it is? I want to ask you off air what you think it is.
Yeah, he's not. Oh, I don't mind. I'll tell you what I think it is on there. I don't mind. I don't have a problem. Because it's not just him though. Before I heard of him, there were people coming forward and talking about strange phenomenons that have been happening. Except for it wasn't on the level of missing people. It was on the cattle mutilations.
Yeah. And
one thing that was kept out of the media, though, and I have no idea how they were able to do it, but it's not just cattle mutilations, you guys. They've been seeing human mutilations like that too now, just like the cattle mutilations. Yeah. Yeah, there's been like a media blackout on that.
See, we never even talked about this. We both know all about it. That's so funny.
Yeah. But so what he's dealing with, though,
one of the distinct sort of features of cattle mutilation is that it's surgically precise.
Yes.
They can't figure out. I don't think it has a specific pattern to it, does it?
Well, they've been ignoring all of the eyewitness testimony. All right, because there has been eyewitness testimony, and when they say what they saw happen, then they're dismissed 100%.
Wow.
They say, "Get up out of here. That's nonsense. Just leave it to us, ma'am. We're the law. We'll take it from here." So what's happening though is it's not just with them, but like I said, with people too. And the sad part is that people don't want to talk about it. They don't. They just want to dismiss it like it's nothing.
Whoa! Jen just texted me. She said she came across an actual cattle mutilation years ago in Colorado. She saw one.
Wow!
Oh, Jen, I can't believe how have the three of us not talked about this? This is insane.
See, we live in a supernatural world, located in a supernatural universe.
Amen.
And people are so dismissive about it, but at some point you have to deal with it. Like if someone that you know is a person of character and integrity and not prone to prevarication, right? You would be quick to believe that person because you know they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't have mental illness, they're a serious person and they have character and integrity. So when they tell you something, you're going to listen. So if they say, dude, I saw a UFO, you're not gonna be like, man, get out of my face. I don't want to talk about that. You'll be like, really? Well, tell me about your experience. And you would believe them because you know that person has character and integrity. Well, when it comes to this department of things, automatically, it doesn't matter who you are, they will dismiss you. It's not debated. It's not talked about. It's just dismissed. Go away. Like people don't want to deal with the reality of haunted houses and possession. They don't want to talk about supernatural things. They don't want to talk about cryptid zoology. They don't want to deal with any of that stuff.
I love cryptozoology.
But at the end of the day, just because you refuse to acknowledge something or even examine the evidence that's being presented to you, it doesn't make it go away. It doesn't make it go away. Some people who are saying they've had experiences, they really have had these experiences. And then there's, in some cases, evidence left behind that cannot be explained that says, yeah, this person definitely had an experience. Now, it just so happens that I have been very fortunate. I have watched hundreds, if not thousands, of documentaries over the years. And one of the most scariest ones that I saw, and I don't know if this case is on Missing 401 in any of his books. I think he has like 6 or 7 books out now.
Like 700. That guy drops a book every like Tuesday. It's insane.
Yeah, I know, right? But
And documentaries. He puts out a lot of stuff. The guy works hard.
well, you can on YouTube, a lot of his interviews are uploaded on YouTube. That's where I get most of mine at. So what people don't want to deal with is that, there's evidence left behind on a lot of this stuff. I remember watching some documentaries from like the 1970s and even the early 80s. Dr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy, he used to host a show, and it was back in the 70s, and it was what was it? The In Search Of is what it was called, In Search Of.
Yeah.
And some of those broadcasts, dude, was over the top. Like the one thing that I remember seeing was the whole crop circle thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been already quote unquote debunked.
I love when
college kids show that they can do it and that they're responsible for some of these or whatever. But here's the thing that they couldn't duplicate. You know how you run into that Janus and Jambres situation where every little thing that Moses did with his rod, they were able to counterfeit it. But then we started doing the serious things, they couldn't reproduce that. They couldn't do that with them plagues. You know what I'm saying? All right. So in this case, they took some scientists, some engineers, and they brought some equipment to one of the crop circles. And there was radiation being given off of this one particular circle. High levels of radiation, radioactivity. And they noticed something about this particular crop circle. The way that the stalks, whatever you want to call them, the way that they were laid down, it was like someone was weaving, weaving something. You know what I'm saying? Like making something. It was so complex. But then there was something else they noticed too over time. When years start passing, the crop circle still remained intact, like it just happened yesterday. And it was still giving off high levels of radiation, and nothing was able to grow in that spot ever again. You don't tell me them college students did that.
Yeah.
All right. You didn't do that. Okay.
Nope.
So this was very interesting. Okay. So here's the thing. All right. Okay, Tom says, is it the name of Jesus causes aliens to flee? Vulcans can find salvation by grace through faith through Christ. Absolutely. Now, you jumping ahead, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It has been documented. All right, it has been documented that people who would have these alien abduction type encounters, by calling on the name of Jesus Christ, those entities would just vanish and leave them alone. That's been documented.
I've heard that that some people have a theory that the aliens are just really demonic entities and interdimensional blah blah blahs and stuff like that.
Not a theory. That has also been documented. It's factual. It is actually factual.
Wow.
No, I'm dead serious. I'm not even laughing. I don't play around with this stuff. It is a fact. Demonic spirits are disembodied fallen angels. If you want to know the depth and the richness of this, all you got to do is open up your Bible, go to Genesis chapter 6, and that'll give you a nice little primer on it. Yep. And then you go to your New Testament. You can probably tell me what verse this is, because I don't know the verse, but it talks about how those angels that left their first estate. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. All right, so there you go there. And then if you want to get deeper,
you got really, I think the weird angelic texts are in Jude and 2 Peter. That's where you'll find some.
Yes, Jude, 2 Peter. Yeah. And then you go deeper, you open up your Apocrypha books and start there, and you will see that It is all laid out for you. Now, there's a brother in Christ who has already taken up all the painstaking years, decades of researching all of this stuff and putting it into film. He is also on YouTube. His name, for those that don't know, is called L.A. Marzulli.
Yeah, I've heard that guy. Yeah.
He has a series called The Watchers. And it's like part 1 through 10 now or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes into depth. He actually travels the globe. He travels the entire world and interviews scientists and doctors and excavators and of antiquities and all this stuff. And he documents this stuff. He even went as far as to look into the people who said that they were probed or had some kind of alien device in them.
Oh, wow, really?
And he went in and he documented this one famous doctor or surgeon who takes these things out of people. And you get to see that the thing looks like it's almost like alive or something, like it's a transmitter, and how it can think and move away when the surgeon's trying to get it out. It'll move real quick away from them. I mean, it's crazy video, crazy footage. And even these devices are radioactive. And when they test the material, it comes back unknown, meaning that it's no element on the periodical table.
It's insane.
Exactly. So, yes, there is information. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I went on a 2-year journey and researching this whole area that we're talking about, this whole phenomenon, the cryptozoology and things like this, and the missing 411 and angels and aliens and demons in the Bible and stuff like that. I have to tell you guys, it was probably one of the most fascinating topics I have ever researched. And for those of you who don't know, I also have a research background. I used to have a job way back out of high school where I got paid for doing research. That was my job title, doing research. I got paid to research things. And this is back when we didn't have the fast computers and internet like we have now. I had to rely on the Dewey Decimal System. I had to rely on the card system at the librry. You know, can you help me locate this book
in that horse-drawn carriage too?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had to rely on microfiche, and I had to deal with all that. So
I don't know
suffice it to say,
what that is. Like, I still had to deal with that stuff.
You never use microfiche?
No, I have. I'm
Okay.
saying I don't think my kids have though. I gotta ask them.
Oh, man, that would be something, man. I have to admit, now microfiche, believe it or not, I think it's an excellent way to have archived a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Back when I first started my Wall Street thing,
Gotta be.
I was blessed. I had gotten a hold of some ancient stuff, some old stuff, where I was able to look at charts that went back to the 1700s. I analyzed charts. I memorized charts, wheat, commodity charts, equity charts. I got paid to do that, so I had fun with it. But I will say this, man. Excuse me. Excuse me. The fact of the matter is this. We do know this. This has also been documented by multiple sources. There have been a lot of archaeologists, renowned archaeologists, who have written books that are out of print now. I had one of them, and it got lost over time, and I'm so sad. That's one of the things I kicked myself for. This archaeologist went to the Holy Land and had excavated and participated in all this stuff. I forget the guy's name. It was a paperback book, and it's been out of print now for decades. Anyway, he found Moses's initials on those buildings, and how a lot of other archaeologists had missed it because they were actually looking for the name and with the Hebrew writing on it, and it wasn't. They used something else. It was an acronym for them. I think it was like MS is what was written on it, and that was the seal for Moses.
That's insane.
Yeah, dude, he's found all types of stuff. Anyway, what he did was he found all these like hundreds of archaeological sites and stuff in the Bible and people and places and stuff, and it was just incredible. Anyway, what we have found, you guys, do you remember that movie Jack the Giant Slayer?
No.
Okay. If you've never seen that, that's probably a movie you need to watch with your kids. Go ahead and rent that movie, dude. Jack the Giant Slayer is one of my favorite movies. I guarantee you will not watch that movie without bugging out. Because you and I are a lot alike. All right. I'm telling you, you will watch that movie and be like, yo, wait, hold on. Stop, rewind. Yo, I read about that. Hey, you know what? Oh, snap. That's what we did. We were bugging. First time we seen that movie, we was bugging. I was like, I cannot believe they put this in a film. What they know about that? No, I'm dead serious. Wow. So anyway, they basically in the movie prove and show to you that giants once lived in the land and that they were real and that a lot of the pagan deities are named after these giants.
Wow, that's insane.
And then it goes to show you even more. I mean, I won't even ruin. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it yet, but I will say this, okay? That oh, someone said something. I'm listening 2 minutes and 30 minutes behind. L.A. Marzulli is so honest that he admitted when he realized that the fairy that he was investigating wasn't real. Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that, CO. I do remember that. Yeah, I like LA. LA is a really cool dude.
Yeah, I was confusing him with someone else. I got to check him out.
Yeah, LA Marzulli, dude, he got like 1 billion videos on YouTube. All the interviews he's done.
I was texting Jen. I'm like, what did he say the name was? Because I thought it was a different guy. It was a different guy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about too. As far as that fairy, there was a video of a so-called fairy that someone had caught, a dead fairy. All right, and so that makes, quote unquote truth movement look crazy, like tinfoil hat wearing people, like idiots who believe anything. That was a fake thing. First of all, let me explain something to you. When it comes to cryptozoology, there is one rule that you need to know. Okay? The one rule that you need to know is that these are, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically non-corporeal beings. You could even put it in a classification of shapeshifters or ghost. All right. What happened was when the giants died, because they were half angel, half human, there's no redemption for them. The only redemption is for human beings. So there was nowhere for them to go at death. Guess what they became? Non-corporeal beings. They became what we know as demons. A lot of people don't know that. Now, these are disembodied spirits. They don't have physical bodies. All right. The fallen angels, they can manifest in a physical form. All right. Angels can manifest in physical form. We got mad literature on that from Genesis all the way to the book of Revelation of angelic manifestations in the Bible. All right. So what happened though is these disembodied spirits, they're the ones to remember when Jesus was teaching back when the man in the tombs, when he cast the demon out of him, remember he talked and they said, we are legion, we are many. And there were like thousands of demons inside of this dude.
Yeah.
And he cast them out and they ran into the swine and then they ran off the cliff, blah, blah, blah. So basically, we're letting you know that they're disembodied spirits and that thousands of them can enter into a man. So we have evidences there.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what happened with the fallen, with the giants, stuff like that. But now the cryptozoology thing, though, is on a whole nother level. Now, this stuff, I have to admit, it gets pretty profound. I think L.A. Marzulli tells it really good. There's another guy, too, who talks about it a lot. And for the life of me, I cannot remember his name. Gosh, I can't remember this guy's name. Yeah, Steve Quayle. That's it. Thank you. Steve Quayle. That's it. L.A. Marzulli and Steve Quayle. There you go. Right. There you go. Steve Quayle. Okay. So what happened is Steve Quayle did a lot of work on giants and stuff like that too. All right. Very good. If you can put those two together, you'll have a nice primer on this part of things. I forget which apocryphal books that they were talking from. I can't recall off the top of my head, but there's like 3 apocryphal books that goes into real depth about what happened.
Was Enoch? There's
Book of Enoch is one of them. Yes. I can't think right now, but anyway, there's a lot of information in these, and they go into depth about it.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though. There were books written that also had photographs. Some of these even had Polaroid photographs. Because I know what people are going to say. Oh, that's Photoshop. You can't Photoshop a Polaroid, baby.
Yep.
All right. So what happened was, and there was proof of this, there was evidence of this. It's where they were, like the Smithsonian and whatnot, where they excavated some sites and stuff, how they were delivered. All right, there was documents where state municipalities had found bones of giants in the United States. Wow. Handed it over to the Smithsonian, never for those things to be seen and heard from again. And come to find out, this was happening all over the world. The giant thing has been covered up, folks, and there are books written.
Why? What do you think the motive is? Just to cover up
and time and dates. All you gotta do is Google it.
Do you think what do you think the motive is? Just to keep the supernatural out of the mainstream? What do you think the inspiration for covering things like that is?
Okay.
Covering up things like that.
All right, let me be honest with you. Because, see, it doesn't fit their paradigm. Remember, their paradigm is that we evolved from primordial ooze that came out of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that is their line that they toe. And then that primordial ooze became a monkey, and then the monkey became a man. That is their religion. All right, that whole evolutionary theory is their Bible. That is their religion. It has been debunked. Macro evolution has been debunked by pagans and Christians alike. All right, atheists have even thrown it out and laughed at it. Macro evolution is a lie. It is a farce.
Yeah, you don't have to be an evangelical to believe that.
You don't have to be you don't have to be nothing. You can be an atheist and laugh at that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you know who actually did the best documentary on that? Believe it or not, that Economist, the one that has been in some movies, and he has that incredible monotone voice.
Oh, that guy.
He talks like that. Huh?
Ferris Bueller?
No, he's an economist, real life. He's been on business channels and stuff.
Yeah, that's the guy. He was in Ferris Bueller.
Yeah. But I'm saying, I don't know his name. I forgot his name.
Bueller, that guy.
Ben Stein. My wife just told me. Ben Stein. Thank you, babe. Ben Stein. He did a documentary about evolution versus creationism, and that joint is off the chain. Google it, or
they
find it on YouTube,
that, right? Because he didn't follow the party line. He treated it with respect.
Yes, he said that evolution is a theory that's pretty much been debunked, and they still don't teach it in the university as a debunked theory. They teach it as a fact. Now, here's the problem, you guys. The reason why they've been covering up like the giants and stuff like that is because it would destroy their worldview and their narrative. They know this. That's why they doubled down on evolution in the past couple of years. You know what they've changed it to now? Transpermium. They're saying now that aliens, all right, seeded man on this planet and then flew away in their spaceships to watch us in a telescope and see how we evolved. That's what their new theory is. Or, I'm sorry, their new scientific fact. All right? That's why, panspermia. There you go. I said it backwards, didn't I? Thanks, Ling. Panspermia, yep. Prometheus, yep. There you go.
Like a word you want to mess with, Dex.
I know, right? So this is what they've done, but they teach this as fact. And if you say anything about it, like creationism, they attack you because, like, if you say, okay, well, sir, evolutionists claim that the fossil record always bears them out, but that very fossil record that they point to actually embarrasses them because there is no evidence ever of macro evolution. We have evidence of micro evolution, but not macro evolution. There is a difference.
Yeah.
You have never seen a zebra turn into a leopard and then that leopard turn into a fruit fly. There is no fossil record to prove that whatsoever. All right, so it's an embarrassment to them.
Yeah.
Boom. Your theory has blown up.
It's an older book now, so I don't know if it's held up. This is just from my seminary days, but there's a book called Darwin's Black Box, where basically the whole idea of the book was that Darwin believed his theory would only hold up if cells were fairly simple, straightforward organisms. And then the book goes into detail on showing how incredibly complex even a single-celled organism is. Where Darwin was looking at a world where he thought, well, this blob plus that blob turns into something complicated. And as science developed, what we found is that is simply not the case. That the deeper you look, the more complexity you find, and you don't have to love Jesus the way I do, but it doesn't provide a satisfactory explanation for how we got here.
Now, here's a challenge.
Something that is
PulseWaveTrading.com is about to challenge the listeners. I dare you. I double dog dare you. I triple double dog, diggity dog dare you to Google the face that demonstrates the farce of evolution.
Oh, that's a good one.
The book written by Hank Hanegraaff. Yeah, I double dog dare you. It is the best primer I have ever read on the subject of evolution.
And it's very simple book too. It's almost
all scientific. It's all scientific. All scientific facts. You got your bibliography down pat. You can research all the facts in there. He basically, in a nutshell, proves to you beyond a shadow of a doubt, based on evidence admissible in a court of law, that Piltdown Man, Java Man, Homo erectus, Pithecanthropus erectus are all fake, phony, and fraudulent. And admitted by the scientific community. And it's still taught as fact in every museum you go to. How you like that?
Yeah.
How you like that? You know?
Jen put the spelling in for us. Thanks, Jen. I was trying.
Thanks. Yeah, I tried to type it right.
Oh, that was you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say she knows I wasn't going to be able to spell.
I'm a horrible speller. But now here's this. Now, you guys are going to laugh at this too. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. All right? I'm a conspiracy analyst. All right? I look at facts. All right? I look at the scientific method. All right? And I look at, those things that we can test and we can research. And at the end of the day, if this doesn't equal this, then we have a problem. And it's just a fact. All right? Now, peep this. It's been told that if you question anything that the power elite has told you is fact, you're considered an idiot and you will be dismissed. And your character will be attacked and assassinated, right? Here's something for you. Have we ever had a public debate with real scientists who are held as experts by their peers in their respective fields? Have we ever had a real live debate, with a NASA engineer versus a scientist who says we live on a flat earth? Have we ever had that debate? If I missed it, if somebody could post a link to it for me, I would love to see it. I'm going to tell you that I believe we have not. That's why anyone who believes in a flat earth is automatically labeled a nut, a fruitcake, insane, needs counseling and medication. But yet I have not seen one debate where that scientist was absolutely destroyed in a debate. Want to know why? Because it goes under the same umbrella as the climate debate as far as man-made global warming. It goes under the same umbrella as what really happened on 9/11. It goes under the same thing as what's happening in our skies.
Mm-hmm.
And why are they pretending that we don't have no such thing as a UFO? Do you know how many documentaries have been done in the last 5 years where they interview airline pilots, Air Force pilots, military personnel, police officers, first responders, you name it, all telling you, yes, I recall being in the air, seeing a UFO going like 1,000,000 times faster than me, doing all types of aerial acrobatics I can't do, scaring me to death, and I couldn't talk about it because they have what is called,
Dude,
they have an environment that if you talk about things like that, then you could be taken off of your shift, meaning that if you're a pilot, you're no longer flying anymore. You're not allowed to fly no more. They don't want you to talk about that. If you're an airline pilot, you better not get on the radio and call that in because then they're going to think you're crazy. But now here's the thing I'm going to hit y'all with. And this is something in recent history. Do you guys recall the UFO response to Chicago O'Hare Airport just a few years ago? In broad daylight, it was seen by like 10,000 people.
Wow.
The control tower saw it. The pilot saw it. The passengers saw it in the air, on the ground. The police saw it. Everybody, the news media caught it, only to have it explained away. And this was in broad daylight. Broad daylight. And they excused it away.
Jeez.
Oh, it's swamp gas / Chinese lanterns / meteor shower. I don't know about you. I ain't no scientist, but I do have enough sense to know that a meteor cannot travel at a high speed and then make a 90-degree angle turn in the air, pause, go down 100 feet, rise 1,000 feet, go to the left 2,000 feet, and then go to the right 3,000 feet, and do this all in a matter of 6 seconds.
Declassify new videos or something the other day, or the Pentagon authenticated a couple videos. Something big happened a couple days ago with UFO disclosure. If anybody knows in comments, but it was exactly one of those things where they essentially affirmed that one of those videos that you're talking about. Of course, they don't say it's aliens or anything, but they'll say that it's legit footage or whatever.
Well, I'm gonna hit you with this too. Now, first of all, we know what's rule 101 when it comes to information and research and stuff like that. If what a person is saying is patently false, everyone knows it's false. Even a child knows it's false. What do? We ignore them. You ignore it. If I say, you know what, Frank? Here's a fact, Frank. You are not a man. You are a robot chicken. And I've seen you on the Adult Swim channel.
Thank you for
You are a robot chicken. You would laugh at me and be like, okay, man, stop playing around. You know I ain't no chicken. No, you do. You have feathers and everything. You don't see your own feathers. You would laugh at me and everyone else would laugh at me because they'll say, Frank, your mother would come on and say, I gave birth to him. He's not a chicken. He's a man. You're insane, young man. You need medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then everyone would just ignore me. If I went out and stood in the middle of the road screaming it, people would just walk by me, drive by me, and just ignore me.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is the case, why did YouTube delete every video showing proof, example, and evidences of a flat earth? The only thing they kept up were all those people saying flat earthers are dumb. Here's a video debunking it. Here's another video debunking it. Here's a billion videos debunking it. But they deleted all the documentaries that
Why are they so
supported
nervous about it? If they think it's so stupid and so dangerous, why not leave it there so they can mock it and debate with it? I don't understand why they're
because they're afraid. Dude, do you know some of the things that they had on there? Okay, here's what y'all don't know. See, a dude like me, I don't play that. You know what I did? Because I knew that was coming. I downloaded all of them. I own every last one of the best documentaries on the subject. I got it. I'm not stupid enough to re-upload it, but I got them. Now, I will tell you this though. They were pushing for a debate. They had a few names that they were throwing out there. One of them was some NASA dude that was coming on YouTube. And then I think one of the astronauts they wanted to have a debate with. And do you know every person that they said they wanted to debate that subject, including Bill Nye the Science Guy, do you know it was unanimous? Every single last one of them said no. Every one of them. They even wrote letters inviting people. They said, we'll even pay for your airfare. We'll give you A1 service, put you in a 5-star hotel if need be, pick you up in the airport, fly you first class. We'll pay for all your expenses. We just really want to get this done for the people. You know, I think it'll be good for the people. Do you know every single last one of them said no?
Wow.
They said no. Every single last one of them. But they said they would debate some other dude on some other topic. But they would not do the flat earth scientists. They refused to. Yes, Eric Dubé. Yep, that's one of the guys. They took down all of his stuff. But I hurried up and downloaded them. So I got them. But some of the things that I saw in some of those documentaries, dude, they go back decades, man. They had interviews up there from military people and stuff admitting stuff. And the one thing that I thought that was the funniest was the dude from NASA admitting that every video footage you've ever seen on NASA's website, every photo, every picture, everything about the Earth was all photoshopped. Every single one of them. And he's on record in a video saying it. He is the guy who actually does the Photoshop for NASA. And he was there admitting it. And he was interviewed at work. No wonder they want to take that down. I want to take that down too.
Dude, there was a great video I saw a few years ago of a guy. I forget when it was or who he worked for, but the story basically goes he was brought into a room and there was some technician there and the guy was showed him close-up pictures of the moon, and he was basically like, his jaw dropped because there's all these structures and stuff, and the guy's like, yeah, man. He's like, we're not supposed to tell anybody. I'm telling it so bad, but it was the guy had a pretty credible story about having access to these detailed photos of the dark side of the moon with all these structures on it and stuff. It was wild.
Now, I'm going to say something that's going to shock you. All right?
Impossible.
But this thing goes deep, you guys. all those people that claim about structures on the moon and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What if I told you behind the scenes they had funding and things of that nature from NASA?
What do you mean?
All that stuff is given to them by NASA. That's part of the conspiracy.
All part of the disinformation?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There are no structures on the moon. Are you ready for this? I'm about to hit you hard. This is why when people talk about anything that has to do with space, I automatically turn the channel or whatever. I don't want to see it. Want to know why? Right after the video interview with the guy that works at NASA, sitting at his desk, the one that photoshops all the pictures we see of the Earth from NASA, he admitted that it was Photoshop. He then said it had to be. But right after that, the next scene is the NASA scientist. You have an engineer, you have an aerospace engineer, rocket scientist. Do you know what he said live on camera? He said, because they asked him, they said, how come we haven't been back to the moon? How come we've never been back to the moon?
What is that?
And he said, well, the reason why we haven't been back to the moon is because, all those documents and stuff about how we got there has all been lost. It was accidentally thrown away.
What? Come on.
No, it's on camera. And then right after that part right there, if that's not the biggest smoking gun, are you ready for this? Here we go. They said the other reason why they can't go to the moon was because they said we can't leave the Earth. No one can.
Wow.
On tape, on video. So he says what we do is we go up as high as we can. That we take photographs and take pictures, but we can't leave the Earth. He said we can't leave the Earth.
That's insane.
They can't leave the Earth. You got a rocket scientist at work. Okay, at work, saying they can't leave the Earth.
Wow. Somebody's like,
now the reason why they couldn't leave the Earth, he didn't tell you, but the guy who's doing a documentary right before that scene shows you that how the scriptures say that we have over us a firmament, and there's this big like water barrier or whatever that prevents you from leaving the Earth. And he said the reason why they can't leave the Earth, the part he's not telling you, is because they can't get past the firmament. So SpaceX is also fake. Absolutely. Look, everyone who talks about going to the Earth, to leaving the Earth, sending a rover on Mars and all this other stuff, you know what, man? Unless your last name is Mr. Potato Head, I don't know how in the world you believe it. Look, all right. Have you noticed something else too? Oh yeah, I see. A Dow closes up 530 points.
What is it?
Coronavirus treatment results fuel optimism despite GDP slump.
I guess I missed that story. There must be something Trump said or something.
No, not really. There was a piece that came out saying that the drug was, it's looking really good. Okay, that dude who said that Dr. Fauci guy.
Yeah.
Yo, did you hear the whole interview with those two doctors?
Seriously,
man, they went in. Dude, and there's another one that he was exposing Dr. Fauci. He said it's the same dude who's been in the pocket of the pharmaceutical industrial complex since day one. They say he was caught. He was part of a conspiracy, a scandal back in the day.
Yeah,
he was pushing for some drug that was killing people.
Dude, so Rand Paul was ripping him apart.
Nah, he don't have nothing to say to nobody. Yeah. So anyway, dude is saying they can't they can't leave the Earth. Wow. Then he said we can't get back to the moon because we lost all the technology.
That's hilarious.
And then the other dude says, yeah, all the pictures of the Earth you're looking at is photoshopped. and we use a fish lens and special effects to make it look curvature and whatever, because the curvature. And then right after that, the next scene is that Neil deGrasse guy, the black guy, the black scientist guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they got him into a corner and said, "So is the Earth round?" And he said, "Well, yeah, no, it's round. Well, no, it's not round. Well, it's round. Okay, well, it's oval. Okay, it's a pear shape." He said the Earth was pear shaped on camera live. He said the Earth was pear shaped like a pear. Which is it?
I'm still with Sling Salsa. I think it's all just a simulation. So
then the powers that be were fighting back on this because they were looking really bad with these documentaries. So they start showing a picture of the solar system, and the Earth is being showed as a flat disc. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make everybody look stupid, and that's not what they're saying. What they are saying is, there is no outer space the way you think of outer space. There is no limitless galaxy the way you think of a limitless galaxy. What they're saying is the Earth is here, and then everything else is over top of it. And everything is in an enclosed environment. And they couldn't handle it. They didn't want to believe it. They couldn't handle it. And then in the documentary I'm talking about, he had like 20 some questions or whatever that he was breaking down. It was like, we just need answers to these particular questions. And they sent those questions to NASA and other people like Buzz Aldrin and all of that. And 100% no response. Couldn't even get a simple answer to some questions written on a piece of paper. See what I'm saying? Wow. You see what level of deception that people are dealing with? If this whole thing, and if there was nothing to it, it would be so easy to prove it. All you would have to do is go bullet point by bullet point and debunk it. But they can't. That's why they said, we have to kill this at its root. Then they went and then they said, okay, all this came about from this Flat Earth Society, and then they go to their website and all this other stuff. Any person who is a scientist of the Flat Earth is not part of that fake Flat Earth Society, which is a disinformation government entity made on purpose, put up there to make people who believe in it to look stupid.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's dismissive. There's no real debate, just like we have no real debate on man-made global warming. We don't have it. We don't have it because they don't want to, because they can't do it. They would fail. They would look stupid. All right. They would look stupid. And that's where we are today, folks. They don't want to deal with it, because if they do, then they will be exposed, and then the Bible would be put up on a pedestal, and a big old light would be shining down on it, and people will be awake, and they would know that everything the Bible says about man and his existence is factual, and they would have to deal with it. And then they go further. They show you that before a certain period of time, everybody believed that the earth was flat. It wasn't until a certain set of circumstances and situation came about that was perpetuated by the Vatican, of all places. We get this heliocentric model. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's a lot of truth that is starting. I like how L.A. Marzulli says it. He says the truth is burgeoning and not going away. Is he burgeoning and not going away? Huh?
Is he a flat Earth guy?
I don't know if he is or not. I don't know. I just know that his expertise with the researching of the giants and stuff like that, he's spot on with that. So I won't put that on him if he doesn't. See, that's another thing too. A lot of people don't have a well-rounded understanding in all things and all disciplines. They're just, they know one part or another part, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the reason why we don't have something all put together for people's understanding is because there's so much infighting. Everybody wants to be looked at as some kind of prophet or some type of know-it-all genius. You know what I'm saying? There's a young Aussie genius on YouTube. He's not young no more, but he was when he came out. He's like a teenager. And he embarrassed NASA, proving that we never went to the moon and that everything about the footage of that time is manufactured. And when I say he embarrassed NASA, they sent scientist after scientist at this young man, and he destroyed all of them. It was humiliating. It was painful to watch. Every time they would try to throw something up at him.
What made me so different was
he went in. He proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have never went to that moon. But then later on, somebody had to have gotten to him because he started like switching up and changing things, and it was obvious that somebody had gotten to him because he was like backpedaling some stuff. But the stuff that he did when he was a teenager, showing about how we did not go to the moon when we said we did and all that, that was incredible. It was incredible. So anyway, I digress.
I muted myself. What was the kid's name?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I have it somewhere, but not. I don't know. If you search it on YouTube, if his channel's still up, it'll come up. But oh, and I have all the videos. Don't worry, I downloaded all of it. I have it all. So I can send it to you. But the bottom line is, there's so much. See, that's the thing, you guys. There's like this movement now. Everyone's saying, "Oh, I'm woke. I'm woke." They don't know what that even means.
I don't know. I don't know what it means anymore. It means like 20 different things now.
Yeah. How can you just say I'm woke and you don't even know what it is? You're awake to what?
I don't know what people mean by it.
You have awakened to what?
People use it. I'll hear all liberals use it. I'll hear all kinds of people use it.
Yeah. The bottom line is, dude, it's trendy, but at the end of the day, you guys, you know. And you guys know how I give it up. You know how I get down. Ain't no way in the world you are woke or acknowledging anything if you don't even know who God is and your relationship to him. You don't know nothing. You are not woke. I can tell you that right now. So we're not even going to go there. But I'm just letting you know you ain't. Wait, hold on. Somebody said you saw ads at the end of my video.
Oh no, no. I played. I had an ad pop up on my computer. I wasn't sure if it was blasting at you guys because sometimes my audio will go out. So I was
okay. I'm about to say because the last time I checked,
no.
that our monetizations was turned off.
Oh, that doesn't mean they won't play ads though. Sometimes I think they do still. They do weird things. I don't fully understand that whole system.
Oh my goodness.
Like they'll do some things to you, not others. It's weird.
But it is weird.
I think we're still overall monetized. We have some videos that have been demonetized.
So it is nothing but the grace of God that we have no YouTube strikes ever.
It's kind of amazing, yeah.
In a decade of me being on YouTube. It's a miracle because I'm gonna tell you, man, a lot of people are having problems. Like they can't even talk about anything anymore. Like no matter what they say, it's like YouTube is on their top.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything that come out of their mouth, they're on their top, you know? But
yeah, I heard somebody say they think it's around the 100,000 sub mark when they really start to screw with you.
So in other words, we are nobody to them. No one's listening to me, so I'm not a threat.
Good for now.
If I get 2 million views per video,
yeah,
then I'm going to be on the mainstream media live at 5.
Exactly.
Talking about who is this airhead and this is why we need to censor the internet and this is why we need to take him off. And then they'll pressure him and then they'll take me off. Yeah, I get it. I know what time it is. But you know what? That's fine. I like to fly under the radar. I've never wanted to be popular or, you know, fame. I've never wanted any of that. And I've had opportunity to have that. But first of all, I don't want to sell out.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't want to sell out, I'm not attractive to them. See what I'm saying? A lot of people can be gotten to because at the end of the day, that's what they want. Let me explain something to you guys. This is how a lot of your favorite people get co-opted. Okay? It's an old school tactic. And no, it has nothing to do with the threat of violence. No, that's not true. The majority of the time, violence is never even needed or necessary because there is something that works better than a gun. Does anyone know what that is? I will tell you what it is. A briefcase is so much mightier than the sword. When they come at you and they throw that briefcase at you, and you open that briefcase and it's packed out with $100 bills, you're gonna go ahead and be like, you know what, I think I could amend my speech a little bit. I think I could go ahead and not talk about certain subjects. Yeah, I think I can do that. Because that's what they do. They be like, oh, so this briefcase doesn't do it? Okay, then they throw another briefcase at you on top of that briefcase. You'd be like, nah, it's still a little light, player. I don't think I can work with that. They'd be like, all right, forget the briefcase. Tell Tommy to bring in that duffel bag, would you? then they throw the duffel bag at you. Backpack. All right, the Hello Kitty backpack.
Why is it Hello Kitty backpack?
Packed out with gold bullion.
Is it racist that you made it a Hello Kitty? I'm not sure.
Well, that's a favorite. That's a favorite in my household. So, and then if that don't work, you'd be like, nah, I'm greedy. That ain't gonna work for me. Then they say, okay, Jim, you know what to do. Bring in the suitcase. And then they hit you with that suitcase. And that suitcase is packed out with hundreds, crisp hundreds, hundred after hundred after hundred, like 25 inches deep, full of hundreds. Then you'd be like, you know what? You guys got yourself a deal. You just bought yourself another human being. Every man has his price, is their theory. And you won't know what that price is until you've reached that price. So you just keep throwing enough money at a person, and then next thing you know, you got them. They're out the way now because you keep hitting them with that briefcase. Yeah. And here's something about human beings. If you throw that briefcase at someone who really ain't never had nothing, more often than not, you won't even get to the briefcase. As soon as you hit them with the suitcase, you got yourself a deal. All right. There used to be a dude back when it was called the WWF. His name was Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man.
Oh yeah.
And he had a saying. His saying was, "Every man has his price." Ted DiBiase. Or another scene from another favorite movie, from Coming to America, when Eddie Murphy's daddy was like, "All right, I'm prepared to write you a check to make this go away," and she was like, "I can't be bought," and he said, "Nonsense! Everyone can be bought." Nonsense. $2 million. So everybody has a price, at least most people. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't take much. You would think that most people would stand on integrity, be like, "No, I'm not going to sell out. You're not going to buy me." 9 times out of 10, if you throw enough money in that direction, you're gonna have it. You're gonna have your way because, again, they know how to target the right people. Dude grew up poor, never had money, struggling, got bills. As soon as he see that briefcase packed out with hundreds, he already sold. He like sold. But then other people who didn't grow up poor and they're pretty middle class, they're doing pretty good in life. The briefcase ain't gonna be enough. They're gonna hold out for the suitcase. And then that's usually when you get them. Because then with them, they know how to get you. They already know what you want. So they'll come in with 3 suitcases. And they'll put some fame to your name with that as well. Next thing you know, you're sitting down with Sally Jesse Raphael being interviewed. You're being interviewed by Oprah. You're on Oprah's couch. You know what I'm saying? They let you announce the BET Awards. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They let you do all of that. And then now you feeling good now because now you got the fame and the fortune. That's what you wanted. You sold out. Now they got you out the way. You talking about tube socks and Jordans. You're no longer talking about little green men and flat earth. It works every time for them. It doesn't cost them nothing. You think it costs them something to hit you upside the head with them briefcases? Nah. Federal Reserve just pushes a button, and all of a sudden you got that money in your account. It's just that easy.
We went through that whole thing with the NBA and China. Who is the famous basketball player? I don't follow sports much. Where he made that public statement about how everybody needs to be more careful about what they say and think before they speak. The billionaire, what's his name?
A billionaire athlete?
Yeah.
Jordan?
He has the shoot. No. Someone's gonna know right away.
LeBron James? I don't know who you're talking about.
I think so. When the big China scandal came out, where one of the coaches said something about China and everybody freaked out, and he came out and it was hurting him financially. So he was like, "Oh, everybody should be think before they speak," and he was just basically defending the Communist Chinese Party because the NBA profits from them. So you're talking about a guy with a price. There's one. It's
the only people that I know that was balling like I don't know no billionaire basketball players, but I mean Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kobe before he died was paid. Shaq, he's paid. That's all I can think of. LeBron.
LeBron, yeah, he's a billionaire. Okay. Because of his shoes. He's a billionaire, is he?
I don't know. Could be. But at the end of the day, though, a lot of people, that's what they really want. They want fame and fortune. Most people want fame and fortune. I never wanted that because, see, here's what you don't count on until you get there. Then you start hating life. When it comes to fame, you can't go nowhere. Who wants to be in an existence where you can't even go to the store? I don't want that. I want to go shopping when I want to go shopping. I want to hang out with my family when I want to hang out with my family. I don't want people taking pictures of me and paparazzi following me. I can't even go to the bathroom without somebody taking pictures. Are you kidding? I don't want that. You can keep that.
Bill Murray said that. He said if you want to be rich and famous, try rich first. It'll cover most of it.
Exactly. Now, being paid, everyone wants to be well paid. But at the end of the day, though, I'm not pushing for that.
Yeah.
All right. Here's my philosophy on it. At the end of the day, here's my philosophy. Okay, so to me, we live in a world where everything is built on choices, right? Choices that we make have consequences. Those consequences can be good or bad. If I help the little old lady across the street, one of the consequences of that is that she may thank me. She may even hug my neck and may even offer to cook for me and make me a pie. That's a consequence of me doing that good deed. You feel me what I'm saying? Likewise, to me, if you build a business based off of character and integrity, if you build a business off of a superior product or service backed by competitive pricing, backed with excellent, stellar customer service, well, for you, the consequences are going to be you're going to make a lot of money. That is making money is a consequence of doing great business. You don't have to focus on money, just focus on your product and your service, and everything else will come. A cab driver once told me back in high school, he asked me what I wanted to do, and at the time I had no idea. And he was like, let me tell you something. No matter what you do, he said, young man, if you do it well enough, you can get rich and make a lot of money. No matter what you do. See, he said, I don't care if you're buffing floors. Whatever you do, you can get paid if you do it well enough and be the best at what you're doing. He said, always strive for superiority. You want to be the best in what you're doing. He said, you don't just want to be okay. You want to be the best. You don't want nobody to outwork you. All right. You want to be the one putting that work in. Okay. So at the end of the day, you want to be excellent in your work. All right. That is it. Even if the money don't come, you still want to be excellent in your work. All right. Workmanship.
Yep.
Workmanship is what it's called. Workmanship. All right. You want to be able to take pride in your work. You want to go home at the end of a work day with your head held high, knowing that you gave it your 100% and that you were excellent in your work. All right. That's what you get. That right there is a peace of mind that can't be bought. Is that you have a work ethic. All right. You want a solid work ethic, and you want to benefit others from your work. At the end of the day, if you have that kind of mindset, you will be successful. Now, at the end of the day, not everybody is going to be wealthy or rich. All right. It is what it is. You can work really hard and all that stuff and still not really profit. That is possible, you guys. It's very possible. All right. A lot of successful people failed multiple times before they even were successful. All that stuff is true. Okay. So what I'm saying at the end of the day is the word says that we work as unto the Lord. So you got to keep that in mind. If you claim to be a born again Christian, you don't have a choice, because the scriptures say that you must work as unto the Lord. All right, bringing glory to God. You don't have a choice. Being a sluggard, a slacker, being lazy is not an option for you. All right, it's not an option. So that's already out the window. Okay, you got to be excellent in your work. And that's just 101 starting off, you know. Now, for me personally, I've always wanted to be the best in what I do. I always wanted to be. And I'll be honest, you know, as a child, for a long time, I felt like I wasn't good at anything, and that, you know, there's nothing for me. You know, I'm just basically an alien. I felt that way at one point in time. I was trying to find something that I did better than anybody else, and that was hard to do. I was surrounded by, you know, very smart kids who were superior to me in multiple ways. And at one point, it got me down. I was like, man, I'm never going to be good at anything. I'm just average. I don't want to be average. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know, kids. You know, as a kid, as a child, you think like a child. So what I said to myself was, you know what I'm gonna do, man? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm tired of this. I'm gonna set out to be the smartest man in the world. And I actually said that to myself. I said, I'm gonna be the smartest man in the world.
I love that.
I failed miserably at that, as you well know.
Love it. Though.
But it wasn't for lack of trying. Okay, not everybody has, you know, a powerful intellect. You know, God has gifted us with varying degrees of things, of gifts. All right, everybody has a gift in something. There's something that each and every one of us can do better than someone else. All right, but at the end of the day, it's not about that, man. It's just about, you know, working smart, not necessarily hard, but working smart and making good, sound decisions. And, you know, the rest, the Lord will work out at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? The results belong to Him. We're just called to do a good job and to set a good example and be men and women of character and integrity, and everything else will be added unto us. Because that's what He said. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all its righteousness, and the rest will be added unto you.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that so many people are struggling with, why so many people's souls are sick, is that our world seems so big and complex. We have this idea that we have to have so much figured out, and that just tilling our piece of ground and working on our families and supporting them and loving people, and that's not enough to be a human. You got to be something outrageous before it has meaning. And I'm always reminded of that, is that, you know, the billions of people who've lived before us, most of them had very simple lives and did very simple things, and yet many of them fulfilled God's purpose for their lives, you know.
Well, and you know what goes with that too, you guys? Here's another hard lesson. You know, failure is a must. And let me explain what I mean by that.
Absolutely.
Failure is a part of life also. And you won't know what you're made of until you fail at something. And I don't mean just, you know, you gave it a half job. I mean something you really applied yourself to, but it just didn't work out and you failed. You learn a lot more about yourself through failure than you do with success. And not only that, but it's the same way in trading. Trading mirrors life. You learn a lot more about you as a trader with how you deal with losses. How do you take losses? How is your mood messed up the rest of the day because you took a loss? You know what I'm saying? That is very important. That's what trading does. Trading really exposes who we are on the inside. All right. It's like it shows you the level of our greed. Like, case in point, you see enormous profits on the table and you turn your head up against them and walk away. Like, I don't need that. I ain't going to take profit. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, the market's moving against you. It's proving that you're wrong. You're about to be stopped out on this trade and you move your stop instead of wider stop because you refuse to admit that you were wrong. All right, your timing was off, or the market has decided to do something else. There's nothing wrong with admitting being wrong or admitting fault or saying, you know, I missed that. I was wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying I was wrong. You know, that's part of life. There's no person that has a monopoly on information, education, or wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay. It's okay. All right. It's all about evolving as a human being, if you will, for lack of a better way to say it. You want to get better and you want to be on an incline, not a decline. Like, you want to be a better version of you than you were last year. You know, you're always striving, knowing that you're never going to reach that, you know, optimal place because no human being can be perfect. But it doesn't mean that you don't strive to be better. You know, we all have areas in our life of improvement and stuff. And it's just about, you know, self exploration, you know, and it's not easy. No one ever said that being an adult was going to be easy or that we live in an easy world. No, we don't. The world we live in is pretty jacked up. You know, it's a cold, brutal world out there. And the reason it's a cold, brutal world out there is because people made it that way. Because people don't like to give. People are selfish. They're selfish with their time. They're selfish with their resources. All right. They're selfish with their information. For the most part, human beings don't like to help one another. Human beings don't like to encourage one another. Human beings are too spending too much time, you know, competing against one another. You know what I'm saying? So I think this economic situation that we're in today is really going to highlight that. I think the spotlight is being turned on, and we're really going to see what we're made of in the United States of America. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Hard times prove what you're really made of. Are we going to come together as a people? Or are we going to act like we're all zombies and we're just going to be attacking and biting each other? All right. So this is going to be telling. Also, I want you guys to be prepared. I have a feeling that tonight's PulseWave reports are going to be absolutely insane, because I'm looking, as we've been live here, I've been looking at how the markets are moving and how they are, ending the day. And the thing that's getting me the most is this piece right here. The Bitcoin Futures Composite Index finishing the day up $1,185. That is what I call a close. That is a powerful, strong close. I believe that the next target that we have is quickly approaching. It's almost like somebody was watching my videos last night and decided that they're going to take Bitcoin there like right away. So stay tuned for tonight's end of day report. I think it's going to be a doozy. I really do.
By the way, this is the Bitcoin futures. This is the Bitcoin, the actual Bitcoin USD coming up. It's still loading.
Yeah, man, look at that. That's some movement right there.
Yep.
But I'm gonna say this too. Also, you're probably gonna be a little depressed when it comes to the precious metals. You're probably not gonna like the analysis on that one. But here's the thing though. We got one of those little question marks though, because if you look at your GDXJ, your gold miners had a stellar performance today and went out on top near the highs of the session. Oh, Sling, you didn't know? I didn't announce it? My bad. Link has been up now for like 3 days on the USD report. I'm sorry. I thought I announced that.
You said it. He probably missed it. I remember seeing it somewhere.
Yeah,
but
Link has been up on the daily report.
Yeah, you just posted it somewhere like in the number 2 channel. You were like, by the way, before I know I think we're winding down. We're gonna have to because you got the PulseWaves. But want to welcome a bunch of new PulseWavers last couple days. A nice little group of people came in today, so welcome to you guys. They seem this is really cool, Dex. A lot of times I'll get to chat with people as they come in. They'll send me a question or whatever, and everybody just seems extremely excited. One person this morning was like, "I'm finally a PulseWaver."
That's what's up, man.
Very cool. So we're excited to have all of you who just came in. It really is. We're honored to have you. We're excited to see you ride those PulseWaves.
Yeah, man, ride those PulseWaves, man. Make that money, take that money. That's our philosophy. You make the money, then you take the money. You don't play around. We do not play around in the trading room, not at all.
No, we don't.
All right, because this is not a game. All right, so welcome aboard, all the new folks. Look out for this evening's PulseWave reports because they could be pretty telling. Like I say, a lot of these markets today are going out on the highs of the session. For real. So this is going to be interesting, man. I can't wait. All right. So with that being said, man, I'll see y'all tonight for the end of the day report. It's going to be a quick one, though. It's going to be a quick one because I got things I got to do. I blessed you with this long FOMC one. Normally the FOMC lives are long anyway. They always just tend to be that way. I never really intended for it to happen, but it just sort of happens. You notice that? When we do these lives, they just go way over. Anyway,
we've been so busy. We don't do a lot of shows together either. So when we usually do them together, so we get talking. So yeah, they go a while.
We have the best audience in the world, though.
Yeah, so
we got the best audience in the world. So we do this for you guys.
80% of the people who started with us on this live stream are still here. It's amazing.
Isn't that great? Yeah, we love you guys. We thank you for your support, man. You guys make all this possible. But I'm going to keep saying this until everybody gets it. Please go to PulseWaveTrading.com. If you don't trade or have no intentions on learning how to trade, that's fine. Go to PulseWaveTrading.com and sign up for a free account anyway. Just in case we get taken off of social media, you'll be able to communicate with us through the website and through other forums that we're going to be doing. I meant to tell you, we need to look into those two that they were talking about, that BitChute and that, what is it, .tv thing, whatever, live TV, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's literally on my screen. I created our account a little earlier. So
Good.
I've been working on that in the room. I was asking people for their two favorite, and then I was eating lunch, and people keep giving me the same two sort of like crypto based YouTube alternatives. And make no mistake, they are no YouTubes, but they do have some cool stuff, and it's promising for the future. But it's funny, I was eating my lunch and I'm watching Dollar Vigilante. Jeff Berwick is doing his little daily talks with his dog that I find so entertaining. And he goes, and I literally, Dex, in our chat rooms, couple times over the last few days, I said, "What's your favorite, YouTube alternatives, preferably, crypto powered, like some of these crypto based blockchain video sharing platforms?" And Burr comes on and he's like, and he gives the same two that everybody's given me. He's like, it seems like they're really two good ones, and he gives the same two. It's BitChute and I don't know. Do you say library? Is that what that is?
Yeah, library.tv, whatever. Yeah.
And he said same two ones that everybody's saying to me: BitChute and library. So we're gonna have accounts on both of those. So
yeah, we need to. And look, I appreciate that, Thomas. What we do here at PulseWave Trading, at the end of the day, folks, I don't know if people realize or not, I've always said it since I've been on YouTube. People are surprised when I say it, but everything has to do with the markets that we talk about.
It's true.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Because what is the market made up of? Stocks. What are stocks made up of? Companies. There are companies for everything that we have talked about. There are companies that specialize in researching space and all this stuff that we've talked about today. So all of this is all connected. All right. It is what it is. We ain't gotta like it, but it's a fact. So we're not out of our realm when we bring these other areas of life into the conversation. And that's just how we flow here. We're not no stiff suit, bow tie wearing folk. That's not what we do. We keep it 100. We keep it real. And we will talk about any and everything we darn well please. Because this is PulseWaveTrading.com. And ain't nothing off limit with us. We don't censor nothing. If it's going down in the markets, we talking about it. If it has anything to do with the markets, we talking about it. If it has anything to do with life, politics, we talking about it. Want to know why? Because they've made the markets political. So we cannot avoid talking about politics when we're talking about the markets. And we can't avoid talking about eschatology and religion and all this other stuff either, and science, because guess what? They're forcing it on us in these markets, whether we like it or not. They're forcing their beliefs of science on us with this whole COVID-19 and, shutting down the society and can't move the economy. All of that stuff is all part of it. And where does this decision making come from? It comes from their worldview. So how can we not talk about their worldview when that's part of what we're dealing with over here? Anyway, just had to throw that out there for you. Just something to think about. Yeah. All right, I'm out because I got to start working on these pulse waves.
Indeed.
So right. I will see you guys tonight for the end of day report. And the rest of you, I'll see in the trading room. And if you have questions for me, I will get to them. You can just send me a note. And while I'm working on the pulse waves, I will respond. All right. Keep your head up. You know my saying. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And that simply means take whatever profit you can take from the market and don't give any of it back by way of turning a winning trade into a losing trade. And I'm out. Peace.